Good evening, you're through to John at All Fans TV. I'm also joined with Rams. Rams, how are we, mate?
Good, thank you. How are we doing?
Yeah, good, thank you, good. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight as we on our second watch along of the day. This time a little bit different away from the Premier League. We have Chelsea versus Man City in the semi-final of the FA Cup. Kicking off in about 20 odd minutes. So we've got a little time to have a little chat. Rams, how are we, mate?
So, just want to say a big up to my man John. What a performance on his first live watch along. If you weren't there watching, sure, you missed out. My man was epic. So big up yourself. Done really well. And fingers crossed, I can help you out on this one.
Well, I won't lie. That's me mum calling. So I think she was calling to say well done as well. For those that have got old school mums like probably myself and Rams and a load of other people, the YouTube's probably a bit too much for her, so you'd like to think she knew I was live right now, but clearly not. So mum, if you eventually do watch YouTube, big up yourself. But no, much appreciated, mate. Really good game this afternoon. I thought, to be honest, West Ham were going to walk it before we got there, but it ended up being quite a barnstormer.
Mate, what a game. And like I said, I didn't want to see West Ham being anywhere near Champions League, so can't be happening. And proven right a little bit with the result against Newcastle. You know, they've had a good season, don't get me wrong, but it's West Ham, and West Ham are West Ham. They should be liable to a lot of slip-ups. We've not seen as many this year, but hopefully going forward we'll see a lot more, because you might want them in the Champions League, but jog on, my friend, they can do one. Yeah,
well, to be honest, as I say, it is what was really fun is it was typical of both clubs. So West Ham doing really well, on the verge of success, sort of fell a little bit short, and then you've got Newcastle hanging by their teeth, and then near enough threw it away, and then came back. Did you think it was a penalty?
Yes. I think it was harsh, but I think the only reason I say yes is because for some reason the Premiership keep changing their rules, and the way we're playing the game this year, that's a stonewall penalty. Look at some of the calls early in the season, mate. You were given stuff for less than that. So on that basis, yes, but I don't like to see that as a penalty myself. No, I wouldn't like to see that given. But given the current situation, that's where we're at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, I totally agree. 5 years ago, never a penalty. But it is what it is now. If you make those challenges in the box, if you're not clever and careful, you're gonna.
I'd have been livid. If it was me playing, I'd have been livid.
Yeah, well, I gave the All Fans TV fans a little understanding of how you play football earlier on. I don't know if you watched that bit on the stream. So if not, I'll let you to watch it yourself a bit later. You
use those words loosely. Play football. We can sometimes call it that. We give it a good go and we enjoy the game. That's all that matters. And we definitely talk a good game. I can talk you around the pitch, whether I can get around it.
Yeah, well, that might have been something along the way I said, so you'll have to check that out and check it out. But if you're new around here, guys, before we get on with the today's watch along, if you're new around here, please like and subscribe. All Fans TV are a new fan channel. Just hit YouTube last night. We're here to basically make a difference in terms of building a community. So give you a little bit of background, we were struggling to feel part of a channel. We also wanted a channel that done multiple sports, not just football. So we've started our own channel, All Fans TV. We're normal people. Please get involved, like and subscribe. We're going to be here every day for watch-alongs. As I say, we've got Man City, Chelsea now, but later on me and Rams will be on for I'm actually getting more excited by the day goes on for Askren versus Paul. I thought it'd be UFC I'm more interested in, but I love UFC, but I actually got a feeling this whole event with music and stuff is actually, I think they recognise they're not they're not elite stars, so they're going to make it a good show, so I'm quite looking forward to that. It's going to be good. But if you are new around here, hit a like and subscribe. If you get a chance, check out our sponsors in the video link in the description. We've got Deadman Gray award-winning property auctioneers, Workwear Direct, premium distributors of workwear safety clothing, and New Lie in Essex, who is a family-run business with 22 years experience in cleaning and hygiene supplies. So these guys were here for All Fans TV when it was just a concept. So if you get a chance to check them out, if you're moving house, you need some bits and bobs for your business or cleaning equipment, please do check them out. So, on with today's match. I've done a little bit of got to say it. Thomas Tuchel's just come on the screen, and he is. I know I'm not an oil painting, but he is a funny looking man. I know that's hard for him. I think Chelsea fans are probably. He is. Right, moving on. I do. First of all, I think he's a good manager, but I've never really seen him because he hasn't managed in this country. I've never really seen that much of him. It's normally from the sidelines. I didn't realise what a beauty he was. So yeah, on with the show. FA Cup semi-final. So a little bit of chat about Chelsea. Their last game, 4-1 winners against Palace, and then they lost 1-0 in the Champions League final, but went through 2-1 on aggregate. They sit 54 points on the league, and how they got to the semi-finals of of the FA Cup. They wish it was the Champions League. I know, are they in the Champions League as well, Chelsea? I think they are, aren't they? They're doing all right.
Yeah.
But they beat Sheffield United 2-0. In terms of Man City, believe it or not, they lost their last league game. I totally forgot about that. They lost to Leeds 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgotten to already. I was like, wow, I forgot about that. What a barnstorming game that was. And then they beat, obviously, Dortmund in the week 2-1, 4-2 winners in aggregate, going through to a semi-final, representing the English teams as the only ones left. Well, in the Champions League, we know obviously the Gunners and Man United are left in the Europa, and they're sitting first in the league, obviously, with a whopping 74 points. It's a crazy amount they're in front, isn't it? I know it's come back right all round, but it's still a lot in front, isn't it? Even though they're not really bothered no more.
But it's like they had a blip last year and got back to normality this year. To be fair, I mean, I know the year before that you run them close, but for them as a team, you know, for 3 or 4 years now, 5 years, has been consistent high performance in the Premiership week after week. Now, for those of you that watched the first watch along and didn't see me, Rams is in the building now. I'm hoping my opinion will add a little bit to the show. As June said, with regards to sort of the bit of history, I mean, we know that Chelsea were here this time last year, or not this time last year, but this time last season. Because of COVID, it wasn't quite last year. But Arsenal, unfortunately for them, got the number over them. Is it going to be the same today? Are Man City going to do the same? Could they lose 2 back-to-back FA Cup finals?
Yeah, it's random.
And this could be a rerun in the Champions League. They could be doing the same thing again, subject to the draw. That could be another rerun. So Man City could be a nice little nemesis for Chelsea over the next couple of weeks. Let's wait and see how it unfolds.
Yeah, well, before the game, I was convinced Man City would just carry on their dominance, and then the team came out, which I've got to change the goalkeeper for some reason. I've not changed it, and I'm waiting for it to be confirmed on the telly because I've only got this off the internet. So I need to change Edison, but I don't know. Mendy at left back, Jesus up front. I don't know. He didn't. I don't know. Where's Foden?
Yeah, Foden obviously done his bit in the week, and
Where's
Pep likes a bit of rotation. I love Stones, but you got to remember, mate. West Brom just turned Chelsea over something stupid like 5-2. If that's what West Brom can do, Man City on a day, this could be something silly. And now it's a cup. Chelsea be stronger, more solid, but still Man City.
When I look at the Chelsea team now, I don't know. That seems like quite a strong side to me, which obviously they are. But I look at the Man City side, and I don't know. Fernandinho's back in there. Who's not playing? They're missing a few players. Where's Gundogan? Where's Bernardo?
They're not even missing them.
So that's an interesting one for me. Like Laporte. When did Laporte last play?
It won't. The way he's been rotating, it won't have been long ago. He didn't play midweek, I don't think. I think Stones played midweek, so he would have played last weekend. Fine. He's always rotating like this over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. Because his centre-backs are so solid, he can do that, to be fair. The 3 of them have been unbelievable this year. Stones has been a rotation.
Yeah, but this season it's been mainly Stones and Diaz, isn't it? Laporte's been injured. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden they've not got their proper centre-backs. Who's the left-back that normally plays? It's not Mendy, is it? Or is it? Oh, it was that the youngster.
I thought it's James on the right normally. I think it's Chilwell normally on the left and James on the right.
No, I mean for Man City, it's not normally Mendy.
Oh, sorry, apologies, mate. Who's normally left? Oh, Zekio is it called? I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so that's not their starting lineup as normal, so it should be for an interesting game. Obviously, if you're a Chelsea fan and a Man City fan, and you're new to All Fans TV, obviously we've only just started, so it's going to take a while to build. But the key sort of thing about this channel is not that we'll do all sports, not that we'll do all watch-alongs. We want you to come on the watch-along. So if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're a Man City fan, if you're a fan of any other football club or sport, get yourself involved. If you've got an opinion, you want to join us in a watch-along, want to come on and have your say, email allfanstv@gmail.com. One of the team will get in contact with you, we'll book you on the show, and you can come on and have your say. Obviously, like Rams as previously said, you can come on, but just make sure you have an opinion. You don't have to agree with us. We genuinely want to give like-minded sport fans and normal people like me and you a chance to come on and have a say. So once again, email allfanstv@gmail.com, and one of the guys will get you on the show. And then you can come on and join us and help us build a community. So make sure you like and subscribe, help us build. We are 8 minutes from kick-off. They're just showing some Chelsea and Man City highlights, which have been quite good recently. The good thing about this, they're both fairly on form. I know obviously Chelsea had the little grip against West Brom, Rams, but actually they're doing all right in the Champions League.
No, they are, and Tunsel's made them solid. I mean, they've got some great players they bought in summer. I'm a massive fan of Kai Havertz. I think they've got some good players. Werner's looked really good in glimpses, but I think this time next year they could be a different team, and I think Man City will be far too strong for them.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. The thing is with Man City is how much gas they've got left. Out of all the competitions left in, this is probably the oh no, they're still in the Carling Cup, aren't they, against...
They've got a cup final next week against Tottenham. They could be ruining London.
Is that on their mind? Is the Champions League in their mind? You know it's on Pep's mind because he's been brought there to win it. And we've all abused him, and let's be honest. He's come here to, not be funny, Man City win the league, didn't they? He's here to win the Champions League. So it'd be interesting where Chelsea, they're in a similar boat, to be fair. They're fighting for top four.
They're doing well under Tunchel. They're doing really well.
Yeah, they are doing very, very well, yeah. James, who's on the screen now, what a player he is.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable. For a young lad, coming from England. He'll be a great player going forward.
Yeah, he will, yeah. I'm obviously biased. I don't think he's as good as Trent, but I do see why people have that argument that he should be involved in the England squad. He's just, unfortunately, there's a few of them like that position's getting a bit swelled out now, isn't it?
We're very blessed at fullback at the moment, from left and right, both sides, very, very blessed. And most of them are youngsters as well, so there should be competition for quite a few years to come, fingers crossed. Yeah,
and that's, unfortunately, Trent has the X factor, doesn't he, over them at the moment because he scores goals. One of them starts chipping in with goals, Trent could be in big problems.
Yeah, and his assist numbers for the last few years have been out as well.
Yeah.
But what do you, I know it's slightly off topic, but what do you make of Ashley Cole being a presenter on this? Bear in mind, he's probably, I understand you want one from each team, but he's probably won more FA Cups with Arsenal than he did with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh, Cashley, wherever the money is, he is.
What's funny is I remember obviously when he played, he was amazing, but yeah, he seems to be hated by everyone. I think the only fans that actually like him are Roma fans, and he was only there for about a year.
Did you see that picture? Did you see that picture when he started? No. Oh, that was hilarious. Team sheets like him, all in the middle, all the players in the middle, and Ashley's on the left-hand side, on his own, sort of well left out, third wheel. Like, oh, don't like you too much, mate.
And he lost everyone's respect, obviously. I don't know what her name is now, Fernandez, Cole, Sugar, the Lump, Razor, some 7-name word. But when she was just simple, forgot her name now, I said so many words.
Cheryl Tweedy.
Yeah, when she was simple Cheryl Cole, obviously she was, for our age, was a very attractive lady. So when he done the dirt on her, and then he done the dirt on Arsenal, it just became too easy to call him Cashley and all this. But yeah, he was a good player. To be fair, I didn't even notice he was on there. The one I like is Micah Richards. I think he's done fun. A nice little mix in between the Neville and the Keanes and the Souness's. I think he's brought quite a little mix to it. Where Ashley Cole,
I love seeing him and Keane at it. They're hilarious, them two.
Yeah, they've done some good adverts as well. Actually, they've done some really, really good adverts. So yeah, no fans are there again today. Seeing the presenters with an empty stadium. Is that the Emirates? Or is it the Emirates FA Cup final? Where is it?
Emirates FA Cup, but at Wembley semi-final, so they always are.
They just picked the biggest stadium with the most amount of empty seats.
They're keeping the tradition there, even if the fans aren't there, let's say.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some money to be saved there somewhere. I'm sure there's an empty park you could play at. Like, you don't need it. Do you know what I mean?
There'll be a few fans there then.
Yeah. So yeah, when fans come back, guys. So All Fans TV has major plans for 2021 and 2022. We're planning to come out on the streets and to the stadiums and to clubs. So not only can you come on the show, we're gonna come to you in a stadium near you soon. So another reason to subscribe. We're not just going to do the big Premier League teams. We're into all types of sports, but also all level of football. So League One, League Two, Championship. You don't have to just support a glamorous club to come on here. I'd love to hear from local supporters that support their local League One, League Two, Championship side. But also we've got a little bit of continental interest. So if you want to come on and talk about Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, you can literally come on the show and talk about whatever you like. So the players are just coming out now. Just coming out onto the pitch. What an amazing stadium that is. Looks so weird being empty, but what a mammoth stadium. And hopefully that stadium, I believe, is holding the semi-finals and the final of the Euros, so hopefully people will be there by then. So what a stadium that
How good would that be?
England won't probably be there. We'll probably smash the group like we do, and then he'd get one good team and lose.
Hey, semi-final in the last competition, so let's get behind him.
I'm just not a massive fan of Southgate. That's the problem. He's done nothing majorly wrong for me not to believe in him, but I don't believe he's the man for the job.
Since the penalty miss back in, was it 96 maybe, he'll never be liked, unfortunately. But that might help us. Generally, the less pressure on, the less golden generations, the less we like. Look, like I say, semi-finals, we haven't reached that since 96 again. So it was a long way before.
And if he builds it around the young players and has faith in them, the Fodens as well, we got a real chance. If he still tries bringing in a bit of everything, then it will never work. I think we should go for it. But big up to Nicola Edwards in the chat, saying that Chelsea are going to win 2-1. It's quite a conservative guess, Nicholas, I won't lie. 2-1 I'd go for. I can see that happening, to be honest. And Class FM saying, evening lads, evening back to you. Obviously if you want to get involved in the chat, do so. If not, follow us on the socials, and obviously make sure you like and subscribe to the video. The teams are just coming out, which I should have double checked I had the right teams, which I think I have.
Oh, was that a bit of argy-bargy with the managers there, or was that is that me looking into it?
To be honest. Oh yeah, I got to change Stefan. Let's change Stefan. Stefan. I don't even know much about this Stefan, to be honest with you.
Mate, no, nothing at all. I didn't even know where he came from. From what I remember, it was Bravo that was their backup before that. So yeah, looks reasonably young, I'm guessing. So maybe.
Because you know what Pep's like? He hasn't really got a great reputation for goalkeepers, really. What was that one he got? We actually went and watched him live at Bravo. Do you remember we went and watched him live when Liverpool played Barcelona? I was like, when Barcelona, Man City are getting that goalkeeper, and he turned out to be a little bit. Well,
he wants them to play with their feet, and he could do that, but he couldn't do much in goal.
that was it. Yeah, because that's when he got rid of Hart, didn't he?
Oldham Hart, yeah, which was a big commotion because Hart was the mainstay England goalie at the time and quite loved by City, I think, and it was quite a big deal. But to bring in Bravo or Bravio, or how you pronounce his name.
Let me just stop you there, Rams. I think they're going to do a minute of silence. We'll join this in. Brilliant. I'm glad that's done. I'm not too sure whether we should do that, but it's not every day. You know, I mean, there's a minute of silence for His Royal Highness, so I thought we would oblige by that. So apologies if you just joined us and thought the screen had frozen. It hadn't.
It's a great honour and respect for a great man who's lived, well, near on 100 years, so deserves it.
Yeah, he does deserve it, yeah. And somewhere along the line, he's played his part in what this country looks like now, I guess. So it's the right thing to do. So kick-off is just about to happen. Chelsea to kick-off, going from right to left. FA Cup semi-final underway. They're now going to take the knee. It's good to see every player doing that. Go on, Rams.
Especially Lacazette like the other day. That was awesome of him. But John, any predictions for the game? What do you reckon?
So my prediction is, I think it's going to be another higher scoring game. I'm going for 3-2 Chelsea.
I'll say it's going to be a low scoring game for me. I reckon it'll be tight. One goal in it again though. Probably 2-1.
2-2.
Man City all the way.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against them, and obviously there's no home or away advantage. But I'm just looking at the big rave this year has been about the two centre backs. They missing one of them, so I'm hoping that might, like anything, whoever gets the first goal. If Man City get the first goal, it's all over. Where if Chelsea get the first goal, they could come back.
Yeah, but if you let Man City get comfortable, you know they can play with the ball. They play really well, so don't let them get too comfortable in this game, because that could be a mistake. Yeah,
exactly, and it just depends. And if your big players turn up, if Sterling and De Bruyne turn up, then it could be all over. But same equally if Mount and Werner get in the game, because Mount's a really underrated player. He's worked his way nicely into the England squad now.
Great young player, but Sterling's not.
I forgot the clock. Apologies, everyone.
Oh.
I'll try and catch it up. Not that I know how to do that. No, I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to attempt to do it because it could get a bit crazy. So apologies. This is how you know we're a real life fan channel, and it also knows we're into the football because we're too busy watching the telly. But we're only a minute behind, so it's not the end of the world.
Sterling's not really been at the races today, mate, this season, mate. I don't think he's got 9 goals. I think last year he was on 20. So
yeah, he's not having the greatest one, is he? I also wonder how difficult it is. I know Man City are a great side and all that, but I'm not too sure if I was in a changing room and they said we're not playing with a striker. There's got to be times where that makes it so difficult if you're in the top end of the field, because you've got no one to bounce off.
What do you take out of De Bruyne's game? You're putting De Bruyne up top, which you're one of the best passers of the ball. Why would you lose the attribute and play him in a false 9, as they call it?
Yeah, and the fact that he's looking at Haaland makes you think, does he even think it maybe is a bit weird? Maybe he just was forced to do it, because obviously Aguero's out today.
Yep.
Maybe he's just forced to do it.
Yeah, but if they get Haaland, that would be scary.
Oh, don't. It would be silly.
With a defence getting as solid as they've to put it together, and it's real solid now. With a clinical striker, you know, Aguero 3 years ago, or young Haaland now, whew, that's going to be a tough team next year.
I think Aguero's gone now, and he's missed the last 3 games again through muscle injuries. I think it's over. The only thing is, does someone like Haaland need it to be a little bit all about him? He probably gets away with murder in Dortmund. Is he going to get it here? And look at Timo.
Well, if they've got no other striker,
hundreds of goals out there, but struggling here to begin with.
But we've got no other striker. He's going to be the main man anyway, so it's going to be all about him up top. In that sense, and the amount they supply the ball, but like I say, De Bruyne, Foden, supply line's endless.
No, you're right. You're right. They just keep the ball so well, and they make everything look so easy. They do strange patterns of play not many other clubs do. They're all good right and left footed. Yeah, it's very good. Couple of little stats for you guys. So Chelsea have lost 4 of their last 5 FA Cup ties against Manchester City, including a 2-1 loss at this stage in 2013. So that's quite a damning stack. 4 of their last 5 against City. However, they did win their most recent encounter 5-1 in February 2016. So it's not all damning if you're a Chelsea supporter, and those facts need to change around pretty soon. But also with that, I always remember Man City being one of the teams to always be fielding a good team. Joan used to look at the FA Cup and half the teams are playing kids and then they're playing unbelievably worldies. So that might be a little bit skew with that fact. And the next fact, Man City have won 6 of their last 9 meetings with Chelsea in all competitions. Is again madness. Chelsea have only drawn 1 and lost 2, and they were beating the Blues 3-1 at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League game this season. So they've already beaten 3-1. There's all this passing out to the back Rams. It's crazy. In the West Ham game earlier on, I really noticed it, that I'd love to get someone, pay someone to just count how many. Oh, they're through here. Werner, can he give a good ball? We can. 1-0. 1-0 Ziyech.
Come on.
What a goal. That was very, very simple. Flag down, goal counts, 1-0 Chelsea. Get in the Chelsea. Well, I forgot the time, so at least let's put their score up at least.
Let's wait for the replay as well and see it back again.
Oh no, Varsit. Oh no, I don't know actually. Second one's definitely onside. I'm not too sure about the first one.
I think the first one was as well. I mean, it's a great ball from Werner, but it's a great ball. I think.
Is it counted or has it been disallowed? It's been disallowed.
Well, for the Werner.
That was quick, wasn't it?
But the Chilwell passed to Werner. It didn't look like it to me. I mean, a great ball as well. Great looking.
Well, that goes back to my point earlier on. When have you seen them broken open that easily this season?
He is. Definitely is.
Let's have another look.
Yeah, like I say, it wasn't the second one, it was the first one.
But when have you seen Man City be broken up that quickly? The Port's under a bit of pressure, yeah? And it'd be typical of Stones. Typical of England, when we've had a great defender all year, Stones playing excellent. He'll get injured the last few games of the season. Now you watch. We'll end up with Eric Dyer at centre back in the Euros.
That'll be a huge disappointment for us. But Chilwell as well. How good has Chilwell been this year? I mean, I think he's awesome left back.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, great thing about them is they brought someone who's made in the Premier League. So there's no teething problems. There's no issues. No adaptations, like you say, just straight in. But Chelsea definitely started the brighter in the first 6 minutes, keeping the ball quite well. 1 goal chalked off for offside from Timo Werner. Lay off to Ziyech. They're back on the attack again now. Cross coming in from James.
Nicholas Edwards could be right with a 2-1 to Chelsea.
Yeah, big up yourself, Nicholas. So Grant Wyatt back in the chat from earlier on. Nice to see you again, Grant, saying good evening. Obviously that's aimed at Rams for the Villarreal game that's coming up soon with their old foe. And Luke Spencer, I need a Chelsea clean sheet for the Dream Team. So I'm glad you brought up the Dream Team, Spencer. So every Tuesday we'll be doing the Fantasy League football show where we'll be creating a fantasy football league. So make sure you join, Luke. We'll be creating a team live on Tuesday for you guys, and then we'll be entering that into a league. You guys are more than welcome to join. We'll put the pin on our Discord and on the links in the descriptions of the videos. So yeah, next Tuesday. I won't lie, I'm pretty bad at these fantasy football leagues. I won't lie. It's going to be quite interesting.
Like I say, this is where the big dogs step up. I got this all day long, my friend. Don't even compete. Don't do that to yourself. Just let me have the win. Take the L. Own it.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how we get on. Daniel Dublin's in the chat saying 4-2 to Man City, so he's hoping for a high scoring game, and so are we. And Class FM is looking for a Chelsea win. As I say, big up to you all in the chats. Thanks very much for joining us. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.
Just a quick comment to the fan, the Spursy boy in the chat. As you can see, we're watching the FA Cup today. 14 is what I'm going to say to you. 14. I'm wearing my stripes with pride because there's only one team for the FA Cup. 14-time champions, top dogs. Say no more. So keep chatting. Good evening to you too, my friend.
The only thing is you've got it all to come in a couple of Thursdays whenever that Europa is. You know he's going to... It just sums up what Arsenal have been about the last few years, but also Emery. He's good in this cup. He's going to want one over on you. It's going to be very good fun.
Yep. When you're competing with everyone else, that's definitely factual. When you're competing with a Tottenham person, they don't win cups. So I couldn't tell you the last time they won a trophy. So it's not really the same. But yeah, generally I could have my comeuppance later in the season. But we're still there. We're still competing, which is the most important thing to be doing.
Sterling's just on the break, just out of muscle chill there. And now he's got a shot away as well. I don't think that was Sterling actually. I don't know who that was. Oh, that was Gabriel Jesus, the guy who said shouldn't play. Nice bit of skill. For those that watched earlier on, I went off on Joe Linton a little bit, saying how terrible he is and stuff. And literally, by the time I finished the sentence, he scored, which was quite funny.
So people in the chat, is it Jesus or Jesus? What do you reckon? Not that you can really tell. But I'm a Jesus man myself. I'm definitely not calling any other man Jesus. Like,
look,
nah,
we're not going to talk about religious. Let's just call it Jesus. All other gods are available. So yeah, first shot on target I think that was from Man City. So it's not been a great start from them. 10 minutes in, Chelsea have been a bit unlucky. They looked up for the fight. But as I say, Man City had a very, very hard game in the week versus Dortmund, where Chelsea had a bit of a walk in the park versus Porto. Even though they lost, they were already through. Where obviously Man City's was a hard-fought victory over Dortmund.
The problem I find
means that Sancho and Haaland are now on their way to England, which is good.
Very true. Sorry, I nearly interrupted you there. The problem I find with City is whenever Jesus pulls out of that sort of half-central striker role, there's nothing up there. When he's looking to deliver the ball in the box, who's in there? Because he's sort of the only half striker they've got.
Yeah. Playing Man City is a weird one, isn't it? Because it's a hard day's graft for everyone apart from the defenders half the time. Because even if you lose to them, they don't pepper you into your box. They play around it for a little while. Then they go in and they score. Right. Where it's the opposite of playing a normal top side. Lovely bit of skill. They just knock the ball around so well, don't they? They're never in a rush. Diaz that they brought in looks an absolute monster of a defender. Like a proper geezer, which is what they needed. Someone to sort of get involved in the challenges.
A few more comments in the chat there for you, John.
Go on, let's see what they're saying. Hopefully they're saying Liverpool to win the league next year. So Bill up saying Jesus. So yeah, maybe Jesus isn't the best pronouncement. So big up yourself, Bill up. Thanks for the heads up. And Kofu says yeah. So I think I might have got that wrong a little bit. One thing I can guarantee you is that won't be the last time, and not just on Gabriel Jesus, but on lots of other players. I will muller their name. There's no offence intended.
You sort of mullered Kofu's name. Kofu, apologies for that. Kofu, and what you're saying about the opinions on Haaland, we did sort of touch on that a moment ago. If Haaland goes to City, look out Premier League next year, because with their supply line and a clinical out-and-out striker, who might take some time to to adjust maybe, they could be very scary next year.
Yeah, they will be. Yeah, he's a very good player, very aggressive, wants to win. He'll bring that, get it into the box, give it to me. They'll become a lot more direct, but obviously still with that Pep style of passing it around. And obviously it's a big game for today for not just Man City and Chelsea fans, but it should be a big day for all you Man United fans watching. You should have been crying into your dinner watching that goal get disallowed, because they're about to potentially make at least a treble, but if not, maybe a quadruple. And you guys don't want that to happen. Now they're still far away from it happening, but I would not bet against them at doing it. Which I don't know about you, Rams. Obviously, you're an Arsenal fan. You've had to deal with the. Obviously, Man United were your biggest competitors for many years, but it's quite nice to know that treble is going to just sort of disappear and not be that important anymore.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean to a degree, but for me, 20 plus years ago that happened. It's still a distant memory. I know they like to harp on about it, but come on, what century was that in? So it'll be nice to finally put a nail in the coffin of it, though, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's quite sad to keep on going on saying it happened about 20 years ago, like unbeaten runs and stuff like that. So I get what you're saying, mate. You got to leave stuff in the past.
Yeah, some people don't mention sort of thing like that. You are where you are. You own it. You own it.
Oh, that's why I was so disappointed last year when Liverpool didn't break it. I really thought they were going to break it, and we would have broke it with so many more wins. It would have absolutely battered your bloody draw fest. But yeah, we lost it in the end, so it's disappointing.
This one time at Bandcamp, we got close. Dropped me out. That's like me picking up myself for being English Super Cup champions. I don't do that, do I? So look, just leave it where it is. You didn't do it. You didn't do it.
So anyone who doesn't know what Rams is, someone's Googling English Super Cup champions. So Rams has been living by the coattail of him winning the Charity Shield for a while, but he's renamed it to the English Super Cup.
And rightly or wrongly, people. So if you win the two biggest cups in Europe, you play for the Super Cup. If you win the biggest two competitions in Germany, you play for the German Super Cup, which is equivalent to our Charity Shield. Why are we even calling it a Charity Shield? So my opinion is what it is. Don't like it, lump it.
I feel for you, mate. I was there, mate, for 10 years, hanging on to all sorts with Liverpool, hanging on to all sorts. And we'll probably be back there as soon as Klopp goes. That's the problem.
And bear in mind, you've still got to win a trophy to be in for that trophy. So you know, let's be fair.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Quick one, mate. We've got Class FM hoping for Haaland at United. For me, I personally think, do you know what? You had your opportunity. It was nearly done and dusted, but you guys didn't want to put the last bit of money to the deal, and he went to Dortmund. So you lost your chance. So unlucky, boys, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly the same as mine. Same as on Sancho. They just don't move fast enough, Man United. I think they still have that ego and arrogance that we're Man United from the old school, where, to be honest, they probably got players that they didn't have to bid as much as everyone else. They got players that would sort of put the phone down to another team just to make sure they went to United. It ain't the same now. So if they really want to rebuild, they need to do it quickly and act quickly. But it probably is true that Haaland wants to go there. That's what's sad. And Sancho. They all probably will want to go there. That's what's... I've got to be honest with Man United. If Man United fans are watching now, I tend to abuse you quite a bit because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan. But unfortunately, you're on the cusp again. You're second. You were probably only going to finish 15 points, 10 points off of first place. You're probably going to do okay in the Europa. You've now beginning to start build a half decent side. And if you're listening, and if United stand are listening, Flex, KG, anyone I've seen on that United stand, stop going on about Pogba. It's boring. The guy is crap. Now, what I mean is, if you want to judge him on a footballer, he's a 10 out of 10. If you want to judge him on a footballer that can play 38 games a year and perform 25 times, he is crap. He really is sugar shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not dress it up. He is overrated.
You are not wrong, John. Let's be fair, yeah? We judge people on stats and what they produce. Does he produce 20 assists, 15 assists? No. Does he give you 15 goals from midfield like a good midfielder does? No. Can he hold his position and be a holding midfielder? No chance. Okay, the odd show pony trick here and there, nice spray of a pass here and there, but he hasn't got consistency enough to be a good player for me. I don't know where all the hype is about him. Ferguson was right years and years ago. He should have been gone if they'd gone, and I'm not even a United fan.
No, I totally agree. All chance for Chelsea just wide. Should have maybe scored from the volley there from Chilwell. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's all past now, and it's all different. Chilwell with a good chance there, maybe should have scored. He always hits that back post quite well. So again, Chelsea breaking on Man City quite easily. Lots of space for James to cross the ball. No one covering Chilwell. This definitely isn't the Man City that I've been watching all year. Because hardly anyone's had any chances against them.
They have not shown up at all. And mate, like I say, Chilwell and James, fullbacks for Chelsea, are doing a great job. Yeah,
they're really, really good players. And they're both British. Yeah, they're both British. So it's nice to see. There's so many good English players. That's why Southgate, I'm not a great fan of Southgate. He should do quite well this year, but he probably won't. Oh, this coming out from the back. I know Man City are one of the better sides of doing it, but once again they've lost the ball. They've lost the ball that quickly. And what's mad is there's loads of young players watching this, so they're learning this is how to play. And I don't believe it actually is. Tell me, how many goals can you tell me have been scored from the back? 5? Oh yeah.
I can tell you. I'll probably tell you closer chance to tell you how many have been conceded.
Yeah,
that would be a lot higher number.
Yeah, well, how many long balls would they have scored? At least a few, and they probably wouldn't have conceded none. Like all this, they've got 5, 6 players in their own box here in Chelsea trying to play out. They're all getting marked. So you played football, Rams. You don't want the ball there, not really.
Well, like I understand you can create space on the other side of the pitch, but when have you ever been taught to invite pressure onto yourself on the byline? Do you know what I mean? You're literally on your goal line nearly, and you're creating and inviting that much pressure onto yourself. And we're being encouraged to do this for the next 5 years, like we do in football. And that cycle will change, and we'll go back to a different sort of style of players, as happens every sort of so many years.
Yeah. Well, I was listening when Sam Allardyce first came back into football, and everyone was like, "Oh, you can't bring these dinosaurs back." And then you see him beat Chelsea, and you see him beat Liverpool, and and I was like, and he's doing this with a West Brom side that aren't even any good. Imagine if you actually gave him a half-decent side, and this is someone who apparently is a dinosaur, and he's only good at long ball and all these things he gets put with him, but he's ended up. Well, I think West Brom are only like 6 or 7 points off relegation now. They'll probably still get relegated, but at least they've made it a little bit. You know, if you're a West Brom fan out there, at least you've got a chance.
Newcastle obviously would have killed most hopes from most. I thought Fulham had a good chance, but I think Newcastle getting that win today would have killed off most of those hopes for most teams in and around the relegation zone.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. They put the final nail in the coffin. And I think the same goes for the other side of today's game. I think West Ham now have to accept that Chelsea and Liverpool will probably go above them over the next couple of weeks and stay there. Well, Chelsea playing lovely football, by the way. They broke in again. One more overlap. Get the cross in. Oh, corner ball, is it? No, gone off for a throw on. But that's probably the 3rd or 4th time now they broke in, and Chilwell's been on the end of a few of these crosses. They're just breaking them up in the middle of the park. So this is another thing. They're playing Fernandinho. When's he played all year? Can he even run anymore?
His legs are so gone. But how much is his shape making a difference, you reckon? I mean, Chelsea are playing 3 at the back, which means their full-backs are now in theory wingers. So, they've got more men forward, and their full-backs are having a field day out here. So,
yeah.
I mean, for me, full-backs are key to the game. You've seen with Liverpool and great teams of old. Look at the old Man United teams that were great, and the old Arsenal that were great. We've all had good full-backs, and Chelsea are definitely blessed for those, and making them count.
Yeah, definitely. Old Pep's looking a bit worried on the bench, twiddling with his beard like he does. Trying to think of some random thing that he can do that no one's ever seen.
I got Kofu in the chat, mate, asking us who we reckon, Greenwood or Saka. What's your opinion? I'm biased, so I can't really answer.
Yeah, so it's a really weird one. Who do I think is going to be the better player in the end? It's definitely Greenwood. Who do I think the better player now is? It's Saka. So Greenwood scored loads of goals, don't get me wrong, loads of goals, and they're really important goals. Look at the one he scored the other night. But he's got no real pressure on him at the moment. So when he comes on, it's normally with a Rashford, with a Cavani. It's normally when they're winning, etc. With Saka, he's literally had to carry some senior Arsenal players for a year and a half. He's also had to play in random positions. When Mason Greenwood comes on, it's normally... I know he does play on the left and he wants to be a striker, but it's still roughly where he wants to be. It's in the right end of the field. Saka's an attacking player playing at left back. And he's doing it in an underperforming team. So for me, both great players. The one that I believe could go on and play for, say, Real Madrid is Greenwood, because I think he's an amazing finisher. And in a few years he'll be getting 20, 30 goals. Where Saka, if you were going to pick one player for next Sunday's final, it would be Saka for me. But very good question. Very good question.
And the different positions, so it's hard to say out and out who will be the better player because they're going to contribute differently. But if someone as young as Saka can carry Arsenal at the moment, what could he do in a more developed team? And generally, midfielders goals to their game generally can be added more later in the game. You find he's already getting good numbers of goals and high assists. So overall wise.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I actually think that's the reason. That is the actual reason why I think Greenwood would be more expensive and go further, is because he's just going to have goals. Where Saka will be a great player, but unless he starts hitting, like what we were saying about the other player, unless you get him like Pogba, unless you get him 15, 20 goals, 15, 20 assists, some real big numbers, you'll never be classed as one of the best midfielders in the world. Do you know what I mean? There's only a few midfielders that go to Real Madrid, but the strikers are more likely. You get 20, 30 goals, you're like gold dust. But there's a few midfielders who are good. Mount, Ziyech, there's loads of good midfielders in the Premier League. I'm not too sure there's that many strikers, but I like Saka. I like them both. Well, I prefer Saka than Greenwood. I just recognise that Greenwood potentially might score 20, 30 goals a season every season. As a midfielder, it's very difficult to do that.
Well, for you to do that, you've got to give them the chance at United. I don't know if they'll give them the chance. I think they'd always buy a big striker to be the main man. So I couldn't see him being pushed out, to be fair. But it will develop. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if Man United will wait. They're not known for it.
No, that's it. Yeah, that could be it. Well, especially because they've got to do it with Rashford a little bit. So they've got two. They've got two potentially that aren't always firing, that are quite young, but both could be world class. But then do you just go and get Haaland, who is world class? It happens. So yeah, they both. To be fair, Saka's the one that could end up, like you say, having a longer career at Arsenal, because he could end up being your stalwart, where Greenwood will always, for the next few years, be battling with some other player.
And bear in mind, they've already got the older version of Greenwood and Rashford as well, so they're going to obviously make sure they keep him in the team and keep developing him.
Exactly.
So
he could
it'd be tough one for him, but good player though. I'll make you right, and I'll keep backing Saka. But tell us what your opinions in the chat. What do you guys think?
Yeah. There's so many great youngsters. I'd love to do a show just on youngsters, to be honest. It'd be really, really good. So yeah, Kofu actually said it was Saka for him as well. That's good. Yeah, there's some really, really good young players. Most people are saying Saka, to be fair, in the well, apart from, so it's funny, Arsenal fans are saying Saka, Man United fans are saying Greenwood. Get some mutual comments going in the chat. Let's see, because as I say, I'm mutual, but I have a
not sure who
answer.
Kofu's.
But if you want to know who's the best in the country, then we just saw him on the telly in Foden. Saka's not even on the same page, and that's what I mean about Saka's going to have to compete with players like that, where Greenwood might not be on the same page as other strikers, but he might have the same goals. So you might go, yeah, but I still score 25 goals, even though I'm not as good as Haaland, but I still score goals. Where Saka's got to compete with people like that.
How crazy are City to not be playing him right now, mate? I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah, but you just got the winner against Dortmund. He celebrated like his life had bloody. There's probably a little bit of that. At the end of the day, they're playing him every week, aren't they? So that just maybe shows you they're confident going through. And again, maybe what they're thinking of the final.
Right.
Final next week, Foden.
What it shows me right now is they need him playing because they haven't turned up without him.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But look at Liverpool. We only lost Virgil van Dijk to begin with, and our whole team went funny. I know eventually we ended up losing our midfielders because of that, but we only lost a defender to begin with, and our whole team went weird. And Stones and Diaz, but they both. Oh, this playing out the back. To be fair, Chelsea have done well. They're on the counter attack. Fernandinho would have got booked if he'd have touched him then as well. Can they get the cross in? They do get the cross in. Good clearance for Diaz. Well sustains the attack. Not often you even said that throughout the season, is it? Someone sustaining an attack against City. But they did have their bubble burst, didn't they, against Leeds? So maybe they're having a.
Yeah.
Maybe this is going to be a little blip. Look at Liverpool last year. Once you've won the league, it's very difficult to be up for anything. I know this is FA Cup, but you can't just switch stuff on and off.
And you were right about Fernandinho. He's lucky to be on a pitch. If he connected with that challenge, he'd have been off for me. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's the sad thing, isn't it, about football when you start losing your legs. He made that challenge 2 years ago and he won the ball and they counted.
Comfortably. How good was he a couple of years ago? For me, he was one of the best holding midfielders. Passing range was good, controlled and composed on pressure, and had such an engine.
Yeah, he should have been booked for that anyway because he did touch him, to be fair. Yeah,
Just
he used to be a great
yourself.
player. He's the Fabinho, and he now was Amos. They're both very similar.
Yeah, they are very similar, to be fair.
Tell you what, Chelsea are playing lovely out from the back there. I'm saying don't play out the back, but that looked lovely. But they've done about 13 passes and they're just outside their 18-yard box. I'd be interested to see what the commentators are saying, because to me it seems like Chelsea are purring a little bit here.
Oh, definitely. All they need is the luck of a goal, don't they? They get the goal in this game, and actually that could turn it two ways. They get the goal, and they could go in them shells a little bit and let Man City come out, or it could be the momentum they need to kick on because they're playing. They deserve it for their play. Not so many clear-cut chances, but their play with the ball's been really good.
Yeah, it has.
Nothing's
been really
hurried, nothing's rushed, very composed and taking their time on the ball. And their fullbacks just stay forward, not stay forward, but they're just so up and down.
Yeah,
I'm looking at him now.
Look very happy with himself.
Across that line, and sometimes James is the last man, furthest man forward.
And old Kepa's in goal as well, so he's slowly rebuilding that guy and rebuilding his confidence.
What, until he makes another howler?
And then now whip him off a Mendy again. Quick sharp, fix up, look sharp, get off.
Or he's really smart. He builds his confidence so he can sell him in the summer. You never know.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Get some performances going, get him looking good again.
But come on, Man City, come on, let's do this. Let's kill this United treble off. Come on. And Chelsea, I don't want Chelsea to get too confident, and they might start getting fourth place, where get them knocked out of the FA Cup. They're on a bit of a downer. Yeah, that's it. I'm all in. Come on, City.
Wow. A Liverpool fan screaming for City to win. What is going on?
Yeah, mate. Same as in Europe. I want them to win Europe as well. Although it will dampen Liverpool's win the other year. They're the last team left in Europe. Let's see them do it. And they do have some English players, so they haven't just done it completely with non-English players. There's a couple in there.
So you'd rather City won it in Europe than Chelsea still in it than Chelsea?
Yeah, 100%. Chelsea have had their moments, and they were Mourinho. They milked that as well. They were. Let's be honest, Chelsea fans, if you're listening, you were hardly the most humble of supporters in that moment, was you? When you were dominating Mourinho, they proper got behind Mourinho. They had that sarcastic Mourinho sort of swag.
Arrogance.
Yeah. So, or through again, Werner. Can he get the ball across? Corner ball. This is very unlike Man City here.
Man City's defence last season would have conceded a goal by now.
Yeah, they're much more stronger. Yeah, they're much more stronger. But they are on the verge of it. Man City defence this year hasn't been under attack. That's what's the problem. Really. They're now completely under the cosh.
But you say players need time to adapt to this league. Diaz, how many games did he take to adapt to this league?
Yeah, a handful, not a lot. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Well, most of the ones he brought this year, Torres, they've all played well. He just seems to have got a good mix this year.
In spells, some of them, but Diaz has been so consistent.
Corner ball coming in. Chilwell, can they get a shot away? James, just wide. That's not a bad shot, to be fair. I think it looked closer than it was, but James outside of the box effort. So obviously, if you're just joining us, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. All Fans TV, we only launched yesterday, going to be showing you all the watch-alongs from all the sports, football, UFC, boxing. We'll even have a laugh with a bit of WWE, darts, you name it, we've got you covered. So please like and subscribe, help us grow. And if you'd like to come on the channel and actually be part of it, simply email allfanstv@gmail.com and we will get you on the show. Oh, Man City finally on the attack. booking being shown for James, is it, I believe? You know, Chelsea do that better than any other team. They surround the referee and they put so much pressure on them. Yeah, that's a James booking on Fernandinho. Was a booking as well.
Yeah.
Silly little things like that that you don't notice, do you, in the first half, and in the second half, one little nick and he gets sent off, changes the whole game.
Oh yeah, and it shows Fernandino's experience. He cut across the play, so he went across him knowing that naturally he's going to have to take him out, and in that way it automatically happens half of it.
Yeah, exactly. Very clever player, very experienced. Like you say, his legs might not have gone, but his brain's still there, isn't it?
Definitely.
And I think Guardiola's being quite clever. If they end up getting through this and he's able to rest a few key players, and they've got the final, then they've got the Champions League. So maybe even he's showing maybe a little bit of experience from the last few years when he has just gone gung-ho and ended up crashing out of the Champions League.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying. But don't you think he could have done that in the Premiership? That's pretty much done for him now. So why don't you just rest them in that game? Because they've got to play Tuesday or Wednesday this week, I think. One of the two. I think it's Wednesday. I think Chelsea Tuesday. So why don't he just?
Yeah, he might be doing both, mightn't he? You might find this is going to be the team for the next Premier League as well. He might be realising this is where a lot of managers go wrong. They end up not using a player all year. Look at Manchester United. They need a defender apparently, but they've got Twanzebe who's played about 7 games.
Yeah.
But yet when they need him, like the other night, you run the massive risk of him not being ready. So I don't know. Guardiola strikes me that this year he's switched on. He didn't like what Klopp done to him last year. Man City, I don't think he did what Klopp did to him last year, and I think he's on it this year. Even if it means it takes a few risks.
Just talking about City, and you could be right with that because, like I say, if he thinks Chelsea are a weakened side and he can do it, you could be right. But I know Man City ain't really been playing at the moment, but how good is De Bruyne? His passing range is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a mustard player. I'd like to see him in another team because he does, I don't know, he does float a lot, which he gets the opportunity to do at Man City. I'd like to see him in another team, how effective he'd be.
I think you put him in any team and he'll give you 20 plus assists every season. I think his passing ability is...
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but as I say, he's playing in a team that it's like Liverpool. We have about 60-70% of the possession, same as they do every week. So much easier then. Not too sure you shove him in a team that has 30-40% possession. He does that. I.e., even for his international, Belgium do the same, aren't they? They have loads of bloody possession.
Yeah, you could say about the whole Belgian team though. They so underperformed for me. What a great basis of players they've had for a few years now and just not performed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, talking about Belgium, obviously we've got the Euros coming up, guys, so we'll be here for all of the Euro watch-alongs every evening. And if you wanted to come on and rep your flag and talk about your country and their chances and the favourite players, we'll be covering all the games, not just the England games, so get yourself on. If you're a Belgium fan and think this is your year, come on and tell us why. You should probably think it's your year because, like Ram said, you're full of mustard players. Or if you're a hardcore England boy and you want to come on with a St George and tell us how this year is the year, this year is the year, it's all coming home, we're here for you. I'm not 100% on that bandwagon yet, but come July or June the 11th when it kicks off, I'll be here with my flag, no doubt, believing like all of us do every year that this is the year. And there's always a player, and then this year's going to be Foden. I'm going to be like, Foden can do it. Where I said that about Scholes.
The thing is, they've got loads in the England squad that could do it this year. Or Grealish, there's loads of them in there. So hopefully they have a good season, and it's when the pressure's off that they actually do it. But I can't see much further than France to a degree. I mean, I know it's Mbappe, but I just love Mbappe, and I think they've got that winning mentality about them as well. So I don't know. I think France will have a good one.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. They've got the cornerstone of a great team, and they all the way through. their goalkeeper could do with a little bit of upping. I don't know if they still play Lloris, but he could definitely do with a bit of an upping.
Yeah, he's not the goalie he once was.
Yeah, exactly. Just a few comments that saying Foden is on another level, which to be fair he is. And we've got 6 minutes left till half time, guys. So I'm not too sure if I was a Chelsea fan or a Man City fan who's more happy. I guess Chelsea probably. They've played well, but they're also probably a bit unlucky that they probably should have got a goal through some of this dominance. And I say dominance loosely. If you're a City fan watching, yes, we know you haven't been penned in, but this is the equivalent of you being penned in for the way you normally play. You've got very little of the ball.
Yeah, I'd like to see the stats, to be fair. I've not seen more than 1-2 shots from City. So, and even those, they weren't really any chances. So,
no, even that Ederson long ball kick out, lose the ball, Chelsea win it back. As I said when I looked at the sides at the beginning on the screen, that they just look more solid in that team. Silva, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Jorginho and Mount and Conte. What they're players. They're solid proper footballers. I look at the other side, you got Fernandinho, Rodri, Torres, Jesus, Laporte and Diaz. Men against boys a little bit there.
Especially when you could have you take 2 of them players out of that team and you could have Gundogan and De Bruyne sitting in that midfield with Foden and, I don't know, Mahrez or something else up front. It's scary, really.
Yeah, Stones at the back, all of a sudden you're looking completely different. Never mind you start putting Aguero when he was on form back in there, or next year they do a Haaland and shove that in there. So Haaland, if any Dortmund fans are watching, let us know who he's going to, because obviously us English people just listen to the press, and obviously most of that is a load of BS. But I'm sure that if you're in Germany, there's words on the street of where he's really going. I'd be really interested to know. Hopefully it begins with an L. The Klopp, but I doubt it. I got a feeling he's actually going to go United, which is just crazy considering his dad and Keane, and you just never would have seen all that, would you? But he's got Ole and his fellow Norwegian.
Yeah.
But how long do you think Ole's going to be there? I only think he's going to be there another year or two max.
And for him to be there for another year or two, he'll have to have done something decent, because I won't reckon Man United will hold on with him not winning much and keep him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Chelsea losing the ball, Man City now. Can they do something with this? 3 minutes to go to half time. No crosses come in. It's so easy to play against them at times. I know they're so dominant, but most clubs would have just whooped that ball in then, and they've ended up going all the way back to their centre back support, which is, they definitely don't look confident. They definitely don't look. It looks slow, doesn't it?
The thing is, you know what's funny is if we had a proper striker, when you see moments like when it ricocheted in the box and against Chelsea defenders, that's when you get a clinical striker that nips in there and gets you a goal. Exactly, so as much as they've got great midfielders, they really do need a striker.
Yeah, exactly. Big up yourself, guys, in the chat. Really appreciate it, guys. Make sure you're sharing on your socials for us, helping us out. Really do appreciate it. And as I say, if you're around this evening, we will be on from around midnight for the dual fighting watch along, bit of UFC. I'll just stop now. De Bruyne to take a cross in. Wow. After me and Rams flexing at how great he is at the ball, he's just kicked it bloody into the stands.
Oh, commentator's curse.
Yeah, Mourinho's like, I told you he was shit. That's why I got rid of him. Man City back in the box now. Drops to Torres. Lovely ball. Ooh, De Bruyne should have done a better pass on that as well. Corner to Man City. Can they get a goal just before half time? Lovely ball again. Torres looks a real good player, doesn't he? I know he scored some goals, but he actually looks a good player as well. Let's see De Bruyne's second corner. All eyes on De Bruyne. Oh, it's on the money. Nah, too high again, actually. Similar. Oh, Sterling crosses in. I believe that was Fernandinho, headers it just wide and over. But what's that? Maybe their third shot, third effort, third chance. And
it's taken them 40 minutes to get into the game.
And it's come from a cross, which is what you don't think of Man City for anyway.
Man City.
And to be fair, Fernandinho got in front of Silva there and should have done a lot better. A lot better, but he was probably surprised he got there.
I forgot for a moment until you just mentioned it that De Bruyne was at Chelsea. That could be the decisive factor today. An old boy coming to an old club and getting the dreaded goal.
Yeah, it always happens, doesn't
especially for a team playing badly.
Yeah, Chelsea beginning to lose the ball. Much better last 5 minutes for Man City. Pep Guardiola will love that as he gets them into the changing room. I think Tuchel will be quite happy as well. So it should make for a really good second half. Obviously, with semi-finals, tends to be a bit tentative in the first half. No one wants to concede a goal, but equally. So I should have had a look. I'm assuming it goes to extra time and penalties.
Pretty sure it does, to be fair. We don't have replays, so I'm pretty certain it's extra time and penalties.
Oh, interesting. And City just on the attack again.
Anticipation being it's FA Cup.
Bruyne's getting absolute hassled there. Keeps the ball, sends it wide. Get a cross in. They just don't cross the ball. They've crossed it now, but it's too late. James puts it out for a corner. Bad defending by James there. So this is probably going to be the last throw of the dice for the half. 20 seconds left. Are they going to let them take this corner? They are. This corner will be it. So, De Bruyne, third time lucky on your crosses.
Oh, I see we've got someone new in the chat. Big up to Matt Crookshank. Come on to Chelsea. Clearly a Chelsea fan. Been playing well so far, mate.
Playing very well so far, Matt. Very well. Nice to see you in the chat, my friend. And hopefully your boys won't let you down. And if you missed it, I don't know if you've just joined us, Matt, but you actually had a goal disallowed, which was offside from Timo Werner, but quite unlucky as well because you've been the better side. So that's it, guys. Half time, 0-0. Bit of a tentative start from both, really, but definitely Chelsea the better side. Should make for a really, really good second half. Tell you what, though, just quickly while it's half time, what's your thoughts on Lampard? Because he's been brushed under the carpet really quickly, isn't he? And then we're quite quick, and I've done it myself, quite quick to go, oh, Tuchel's doing well. But is he really doing well, or is he just picking up what Lampard would have got anyway? Because you look at some of the players Lampard brought in, Mount, great player. Look at last year. He got no credit at all. So Arteta got credit for winning the FA Cup, but he didn't get any credit for getting the top four without a champion. He didn't have a transfer. He wasn't allowed, was he? He had to bring in those youngsters. He had to bring back loanees. He didn't buy a single soul, and he got into they're in the semi-final this year, aren't they? Because of Lampard. He got him in there, and he got him all the way to the quarters before Tuchel take over. So what's your views on it? Because I'm a bit of I think same as what your justification for Arteta, and it's rightly so. I think he should have been given a bit of time.
Well, that's the problem with what I said to you yesterday, and our launch party. Chelsea don't do that. They're too wishy-washy. If you get a run of bad results, and that's all it was. And bear in mind, this season, who hasn't, other than Man City, had a run of bad results? Who haven't been 8th, 9th, 10th and come back up again? Everyone's done it.
Well, even Man City, for the first 10 games, they were down to 14th, weren't they?
And at one point, you guys started so strong that you looked like you were running away from it like last year. So it's been that year. So for me, especially given the year, he should have been given more time. But given that you're at Chelsea and you know the score at Chelsea and he's an idol at Chelsea, they probably gave him more time than they wanted to be fair, which sounds harsh, but I think it's probably true because they're cutthroat, aren't they? That's how they've always been. But he built together. I mean, you say you brought him out. He developed Mount as a youngster, brought him through. So that takes a lot. That's not, I'll go and find him in my scouting team, I'll spend loads of money. I'll develop him and make him the midfielder that I was, because they're very similar in traits. Late runs into the box, good amount of goals from Mount. And then he's brought in some worldies that no one can question before he bought them. Are they worldies? But, okay, well, I brought in Werner, who Liverpool are looking at, this team are looking at, that team are looking at. He's bagged loads of goals left, right and centre. Great call. You've got one of the best young English German talent in Kai Havertz they brought in, who I've been watching for the last few years thinking he's amazing. Can't wait for him in the Premiership. And then you've got the cheaper version, but still great player in the Ajax youngsters, Ezekiel, I pronounce his name. So for me, on attacking wise, they went out and bought the right players. They've got an out-and-out striker, which you could see in Werner. They've got great centre midfielders coming through. And then they went and sorted out the defence. I mean, they put some experience in there. I said, look, I'm not sure. We keep conceding goals. Let's put an experienced head in there. Let's get Thiago Silva. Who is more experienced than Thiago Silva? Damn, my man Dave wrote a song about him. That's how experienced my man is. So, you know, that was a good shout. He brought in a great bit of English backbone and spirit in his fullbacks by developing James and by bringing in Chilwell, which gives you legs for days and young players that will run and listen to him. So for me, he's developed that into a great team. Now, did that team, as always, need 6 months? Need 12 months? Yes. There's no two ways about it. Just for chemistry, just for understanding, just for developing to the league. There's loads of factors in there. So Chelsea, unfortunately, have just done what Chelsea always do and made a scapegoat out of Lampard, a previous idol or whatever you want to call him. And I think it was really harsh.
It was wrong.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, for me, I totally agree with everything you said. The thing that really surprises me is how easy the fans just accepted it. Now, Thomas Tuchel is a good manager, but he is, some would say, a serial failure.
Exactly.
Because everywhere he's gone, he hasn't really worked. So I'm not 100% sure where Lampard done really well. I look through this side now. Silva's his. Chilwell's his. James was there, but he wasn't playing until he come along. He only played because Lampard gave him the chance. Then you got Mount, Ziyech and Werner, all his.
Half the team.
Then you got the what's the striker that no Chelsea fan, I don't care what they say, thought was going to work. Tammy Abraham got loads of goals. It's been really. I just couldn't understand it. And I don't want to give too much credit to Tuchel because, I mean, as I say, the team I'm looking at is Lampard's team. Fair enough, the way of playing. I haven't watched enough of Chelsea to tell you if he's really changed it. All I know is when I did watch Chelsea, they always looked quite good anyway. They just had mistakes. But they were playing a little bit more flary than I see them now. And
it's what Chelsea board wanted. They said over the last few years, I don't want a Mourinho style anymore. We want a bit more substance to our play. We don't want to win the trophies without a bit of swag. And as Matt agrees, a Chelsea fan, that Lamp should have been given more time. And he's a fan telling you that. Actually, yeah, some of us have been a little bit and just gone along with it. But I agree with you guys. He should have been given the time to let this team that he's put together become what it can be. Because on paper, 12 months together. If you or go 12 months back, if you look at the players they are now, before you bought them, Werner, how many teams would he have walked in?
Well, most.
Silva, how many teams would he have walked in? You can say about loads of them, but Chelsea is Chelsea, and they've done it again.
Yeah, it really surprised me. As I say, I really thought Lampard had it really. I thought he was. Do you know when you're not jealous as obviously I support Liverpool, but when you look at other clubs and you go, okay, that's building something. I don't believe that's the case with Man United. I believe the team's building something, but I actually believe Ole's like an anchor holding them down. I believe that Arteta's building something, and it's actually the players that are weighing him down a little bit. But with Lampard, there was nothing, I didn't want it, but with Lampard I looked and was like, hang on, I like the manager and I like the players. I look at who he's brought in, I look at how they play. Now, yeah, Silva's a bit old, but Werner, as you know, I'm a Liverpool fan. He was coming to us. It was all done and dusted. I was over the moon at that. Went to you guys, good bit of business. And he went there because Lampard was aggressive, got it done. Mount, most Premier League managers wouldn't have even stuck by him. Let's be honest, would they? They would have they would have got him from Derby or whatever it was, gone through that year where they had no money and no transfers, and then just got rid of him. He actually has got him into the England squad. I was watching the Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher Euros 11, which me and Rams are going to do soon. Should be very interesting. But they had massive debates, and the main debate was over Henderson or someone else, which I just couldn't believe. But the reason they wanted it is because they both needed to include Mount. So now either Henderson or, can't remember it was going to lose out. He might be also in front of Grealish, which Grealish is an unbelievable player. But he's he is in front of him in the England squad. It's just madness. He's playing more games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy.
He's a good player.
And he's playing well for England, so I don't think Grealish is going to knock him out. I think, if anything, he's probably one of the first on the team sheet in midfield, which is just, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because he'd gone over my head a little bit how developed he's become in the England squad. So, yeah, massive disappointment for me. And if you're a Chelsea fan and you want to come on and tell us what you think of Tuchel, tell us what you think of your new players, come on and let us know. If you wonder what that noise is, I have a little cat. She's old now. She just near enough half died getting out of the cat flap, bless her. So I don't know if you can hear my cat flap going, but my cat is alive, just, bless her, 15, so about 75 in cat years or whatever it is. So, but yeah, I just wanted to get your view on it, because while we're on half time, I was just thinking of Chelsea, and if they go on to win it, I was like, oh wow, Tuchel's gonna, imagine they beat Man City. No one beats Man City. Oh, it'll be Tuchel this, Tuchel this.
Credit for some of the work, and he has done some good work. He has made them a bit more. He's added to it. Give them a bit more balance and maybe the play that they're having, but that then goes against what Chelsea wanted as a board and as a setup. From what I understand, they wanted better style of play, so you lose that when you become more defensive, as Arsenal found, has Liverpool, as there are a lot of teams find when you've got to find that balance between attack and defence. So
well, you look at his team he's put out today. In a one-off game he wants to win, how many of them are going to go forward? So Kante's not going forward, Jorginho won't go forward, he'll spray the ball forward, and the other five below them, it's only really Chilwell. James but that gives you forward, but he's not a Trent, is he? That's a very defensive team.
Even without the fullbacks coming back, that gives you great. You've got 5 defensive players there, 2 hold midfielders that will hold, and 3 centre backs that will sit. Then the fullbacks will go up and down. Well, not fullbacks, they're midfielders in this positioning. So in theory, but they've got young legs that will go for days. And for Silva, when you said your question is signing, for me, you know, he was in a PSG squad that was in the Champions League final the year before. So that gives the status of the player that he is already. He's done it for Brazil. And for young, when you've got Zuma and Rudigers, and you probably want to get them a bit more developed, why not bring in a proven star that can sort of maybe round them off a little bit more? So I see why they did it. And it was cheap, freebie. Didn't even cost them anything.
Madness. And you can imagine having him in the changing room, all that experience, all that grit. And, you know, with the sort of Brazilian, South American, you know he's there to win. They bring that grit and determination. Gary Neville's looking old. No, not Gary Neville, Gary Lineker. Wow, he's looking mega old. And why is everyone wearing like moustaches? Lingard had some like spider hanging off his chin earlier on. There's all this like little bits of. There you go, Micah Richards, proper beard. That's a proper beard. Get a proper beard, people. Some weird.
Not Movember.
Yeah, it's not Movember. No, it's I don't know what it is, but Alan Shearer, another legend. But yeah, so Chelsea, let us know, and same as Man City. Obviously, you're probably not even used to worrying about games, because I know last year with Liverpool, I just started assuming we'd win. So I guess you're probably looking at this going, we're just going to win. But if you're watching it as like me and Rams are, there's only one team that's in it so far, and that isn't you boys, that's Chelsea. And we haven't even had to really see, which is a bit annoying, I haven't really been watching this new goalkeeper, Stefan. I don't really know too much about him, so I should have been keeping a bit more an eye on him, really.
That's the only thing you could say, maybe. As well as Chelsea have played, you haven't needed to know much about him because he hasn't actually done a great deal today, because they've played well in phases, but nothing actually hugely threatening other than the offside, the overall goal. They haven't been peppering them all over the place. So yeah, you could.
Yeah, it's a random one, and it's a random one. But we're a few minutes away from the second half kicking off. Hopefully, better second half than the first half. First half was good, but I think they were both a little bit tentative. Didn't want to lose it. No one wants to lose a semi-final, do they? It's not nice. But at the same time, I think the team that comes out of a bit of spunk is going to take this. And I think it's as simple as that. And sometimes in sport, I think you just got to show a little bit more than what they're doing, and I think they'll take it. I think if Man City step up a gear, they could be 2-0 up. But I think Chelsea equally could get involved and take this a little bit more too. And maybe, I don't know, does Azpilicueta need to be there without? It's quite random really, and Tuchel's playing 5 at the back against potentially Jesus on his own. So he's put us on my mute, and I don't think he's noticed. I should not tell him really.
No, I have noticed. I got my little boy running in there trying to open my door, so I'm trying to tell him to go away without making loads of noise. So he's gone now, thankfully. But left the door open, and I'm freezing my backside off, and there's loads of background noise now. So give me one moment, and I'll be back with you boys.
I should have just let him carry on talking. Seeing him sit there going, I mean, yeah, I'm with you, Rams. I'm with you. So yeah, second half coming up, guys. As I say, if you're new around here, make sure you like and subscribe. allfanstv, new fan channel, only launched yesterday, so we're still a little bit nervous, still learning the ropes, but we could really do with some of your support. Follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and obviously give us a like, give us a wave, give us a nudge, come in the comments on YouTube, give us a subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're like me and watch a lot of YouTube, find yourself sort of on the edge of a channel and not really feeling part of it, let us know. Come on the show. Email allfanstv@gmail.com, and we will get you on the show, bring you on and have your opinion heard. I wish I'd have been invited on some of the shows I was watching. And if you're watching AFTV and United Stand and Ariel Hawani for UFC and all these other good channels, which they are, but you're not quite getting engaged, then come to us and we will get you heard. Especially if you're an Arsenal or Man United fan. I can't imagine how difficult it is to get on AFTV and United Stand. I only wanted my comment read out and it was just ignored. Never mind how you get on if you're not in the secret boys club that I'm sure exists over at those channels. You all have to know each other of some sort. There's like a secret.
As it always is.
Yeah, there's like a hidden little thing that you need to know, which I definitely didn't. So if you were like me and felt a little bit out in the cold, we're the channel for you. All Fans TV. Come and get involved. And obviously you won't always just hear me and Rams. When those fans do come on, we'll be joined now. We could have been joined now by Chelsea and Man City fans, who would obviously give their opinion. So there's going to be lots of different content for you to get involved in, as long as shows, Fantasy Football League, fight predictions, European football fest, you name it, we've got it. So make sure you get involved. Second half's about to kick off. Make sure that I actually do the clock this time. I only have one job. That's to click a button.
You've got a lot more jobs than that, mate. But you still thinking it's going to be 3-2? 5 goals in one half?
I'm not one to shirk or go back on what I've said, am I? 3-2 is what I'm going for. It looks like a 3-2 game to me.
Oh, boys, this is a glimpse into one of our next shows, boys. And the prediction show, you're seeing already. 2-1 is much closer a shout, I reckon. So good luck with that one, mate. Good luck.
Yeah, I think it was Kofu in the chat. I think we should get him on to do some, because I think he's going to be closer than me, I think.
Or Nicholas Edwards, 2-1 might be even better, because everyone else is going City, whereas Chelsea are the team that's playing.
So I got a chat from Bill up in the chat saying big up Olympia FC starting vets next season. So a bit of Sunday League football for you. Big up Olympia FC if you need a holding midfielder. I tend not to run very much anymore, but well, I don't do anything more than that really. But I'm willing to play. I need a team. So Olympia, get me involved. I used to be a baller about 15 years ago.
To be fair, they're a great bunch of lads, and they only want decent players, so I doubt they'll probably let you in the team, mate.
Well, if they're even friends with you, then I don't even want to play with them. Never mind if you've ever played there.
Oh, boys, if you know Junior, you know he hasn't played football for about 20 years, so he's living in his heyday dreams, bless him. If his knee was good, though, to be fair to him, he can play a bit of football, or he could when we were young.
Yeah, 15 years ago, mate, I won't lie, I'm not shy in coming forward. There was only a couple of better players than my age group than me that I played. But then, unfortunately, that was 15 years ago, so some of those players, unfortunately, have got probably better, and I haven't run for 15 years on a football pitch. Well, I did make a comeback season for one season, but just for a muckabout. Guardiola's looking angry, wasn't it? Why is he angry? Who's coming off? Foden looks like he's coming on. So there's obviously been a change. Someone's injured by the looks of it.
I'm just looking at the lineups and just seeing if they've already made the changes. Maybe they're waiting to make them.
Is it De Bruyne coming off, is it?
Do you know what?
It is.
Me personally, I love De Bruyne. I think he's a great player. But when he was out injured, Gundogan was running the show. They were playing probably better then without him. As hard as it, as big as I think it is to call, than when he's been playing in my eyes, because they were so solid. Gundogan was getting goals from every angle, and I think they're a better team.
Yeah, Gundogan's a good player. Very good player. So that's Foden on. So let's quickly update our team sheet for anyone joining us, so it's up to date for you. So that's that done. That's updated on the sheets for you guys. Happy days. Slowly getting used to what I'm doing. Still not getting used to talking on a screen. I don't know about you, Rams, but it's a bit random.
Proper. I'll give you a lot of credit, mate.
Blood, sweat and tears we're going to do for our fans, Ryan. And that's what we're doing, mate. We're putting ourselves on the line just to build a community. If that doesn't make people feel sorry for us, nothing's going to... Ooh, long ball from Man City. Near enough caught Chelsea out then. Kepa looks like he's put a fresh bit of gel on his hair as he's come out for the second half. Did you see that? Did you see that? That was proper like greased Fonz. Whoosh.
He's making sure he's looking slick, my friend.
Yeah.
That's more important than taking goals and doing his job.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing with obviously lockdown. We've all had our lockdown haircuts, and obviously I've just had mine, and I forgot how big my forehead is, which is a little bit disappointing because then I now stare at myself for 2 hours in a row. It's like a slab of concrete. And I've got lights on me, so it just shines it back in my face. Hi, I'm Forehead. Welcome to allfanstv.
I can see Foden getting the first goal.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He's
against the run of play.
He's genuinely a world-class player already, which there's not a lot of kids you can say that about. He's genuinely world-class. Doesn't lose the ball very often. Well, I can't think of a time I've seen him lose the ball, as mad as that sounds. Obviously he has, but I can't remember seeing it. Every time I see him, it's pass, go, goal. So Man City already starting a little bit better on the ball, second half, like we'd imagine. Saying that, Sterling's just took too many touches, but he's away. Oh wow, he really is away. He's carry on going. Great play by Sterling. Finds Foden. Goes out wide. Finds Foden again. Foden cross in, back post. Ooh, very unlucky. Ends up just dropping to Kepa's hands. Very, very tough. Wow, look at that hair.
Was that their best bit of play so far?
I think so, yeah. And it's because Foden gives 1-2s, gets going.
Sterling did a lot, but between Sterling and Foden, they got that team going again.
Yeah, it's quite unlucky.
Perhaps had a word at half time.
Yeah, he definitely has. Yeah, he definitely has. Well, they haven't done this much this year, have they, to fall down on this hurdle? And that's the message I think you'd have been saying. I think it's an easy sell, and it's like Klopp last year. Once you're winning this much, and it's such an easy sell to get you back motivated.
Yeah.
You're on the Colossus Gregorius straight away. That was very lucky. Conte playing around on the edge of his box, wins the ball, wins a foul off of Rodrigo, or Rodri, but it wasn't. It was very unlucky, or very lucky, should I say? Just clear the ball. Especially now, you can see Man City is starting well, so don't be mucking around with it on your box. Just get rid of the ball.
But we didn't see much of.
Great slide.
What we didn't see much of in the first half, I felt, was City's pressing game. That's one of their best attributes. They press so well and didn't seem to notice it in the first half.
No, you're exactly right. Yeah, I didn't notice it, to be fair. It's a great point. Great point.
I mean, other than Liverpool, you two guys are the best team at pressing and winning the ball back high up in the pitch to make them sort of chances come out of nothing. And like you say, this half just, or that first half, was non-existent.
Oh, well, I didn't make it into the Olympia FC starting lineup. I've been bombed off at my first approach. I didn't even say there was a fee or anything. I was free. But don't worry, Bill up. I'll take it on the chin. I might have to come and watch you now and see if you're any good, because if you're not, then obviously I might have to bring this back up on live. And because one thing Rams missed is obviously earlier on in the watch along I was explaining that we play football and Raya still plays, and we might do a little sneaky peek and come and have a little good look at one of his games. So Bill up, if you're on that game, you better bring your boots, mate. You better be a sharp, because I'm putting your ass on YouTube. Obviously, once you see my football knowledge, Bill, there might be a place for me on the management. You never know. I'll take mascot, mate. That's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. For anyone who's watching this, I'm sure there's loads of people with football injuries. It's absolutely awful. With not just football injuries, any injuries. If you're disabled, if you suffer for something you can't do. I was able-bodied until I was 20 and never really even worried about anyone who wasn't able-bodied, and that's just the truth. I was too concerned over myself because I could do what I wanted to do. I could play sports, I could ride a bike. So if you are suffering from a disability, big up your damn self, because I know what you're going through. I suffer arthritis, and that's one of the smallest things. There's people out there with massive pains, discomforts, but also missing sport, missing their passion, whatever they do. And I've missed it since I'm 15, so since I was 20 years old, 15 years ago. Hence why I probably had this burning passion to do this side of football, because I can't run around anymore. You never know. So yeah, big up yourself if you're injured, because you've probably got a mate like me, like Rams, who don't give a shit. And he's like, oh, you're injured. And you'll probably have a mate like Rams who challenges you to sport stuff, knowing I will say yes, even though I'm injured, and then it makes my injury worse. So you've probably guessed I'm not a great squash player, but if I get challenged, I'll play it. Where Rams is quite a good squash player. And yeah, if you've got mates like him who needs enemies at the end of the day, my knee's probably off. I've probably lost about 10 years of my knee because of you, Rams. Squash, boxing.
It's like builders blaming a tool. Well, if your leg's not up to it and you're not made manly enough, then don't blame me. I remember the challenge made by some feeble friend of ours. No, to be fair, he's a good friend of ours, but yeah, mate, you can't be moaning about that, mate. And it's been 20 years.
Werner on through. Yeah. Keeper's come out. That's a goal. 1-0 Chelsea. So that's literally exactly the same goal as the first half. Yeah, exactly the same. Werner to Ziyech. That is hilarious. I bet this one's offside as well. Shall I change it? I'm changing it for you Chelsea fans. This is for Matt Cruikshank in the chat. Boom! Hold that. 1-0 Chelsea. Oh wow, the keeper is... I've definitely never seen that keeper.
It was a... Who played the first ball through? Was that Chilwell again? Because it was the same three, maybe. I think Chilwell might play the first one. Was it Mount? I can't see.
That is exactly the same goal, but that is actually brilliant.
Was it the same three players as well, though?
I think it is, and that's onside this time. Bit behind.
No, I think it was Mount. Mount went up and cuddled him first. I think it was Mount this time, to be fair. But that was literally, yeah. Down the outside, come in. Gosh.
Big up yourself. We've got a goal. Well done to all you Blue fans. Lampard, that one was for you, brother. We're with you. We ain't forgot about you. Tuchel, you can do one. Lamps, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I watched you on telly for 15 years, mate. You were my idol. I used to try and play like you and Gerrard.
Oh, so, mate, have I just heard a Liverpool fan? Oh, my days. Jeez. A Liverpool fan has told him Lampard's their idol. Gerrard is just cussing you right now, bro. Cussing you out.
No, Gerrard knows the score.
Centre midfielder.
There's only... The greatest is obviously Gerrard, but that's just not because I support Liverpool. He's got the greatest stats. He's got everything. He's the one. Luckily, Lampard was
he's the one that didn't win a Premier League trophy, yeah?
But he won a Champions League.
But he's got the stats to say he didn't win a Premier League trophy. So he's done a few bits. I wouldn't say done a lot, mate.
He's done the biggest.
Well, that is probably true.
The biggest is the Champions League. He's done it. This FA Cup, he's won it just by himself. We were losing with minutes to go.
If he didn't get threatened by gangsters and went to Chelsea, he might have done a lot more.
Yeah, I did tell him to only send a text. Stevie Gerrard, if you're watching as well, something which you're never going to do, but trust me, you are my legend. And I really like Rangers as well, so I'm glad you went there rather than Celtic. I do like Celtic, 'cause I know you're crazy supporters, so let me just quickly get that in there. But I am a bit of a Rangers fan. I do like Rangers in the Scottish League. And again, if you're a Rangers, Celtic, Kilmarnock, Hearts... Sure, there's a couple more teams in Scotland we should know. Dunfermline or something.
Birmingham.
Get yourself on here. Let us know about it. Who?
I said Dundee, Kilmarnock.
There you go.
Clyde. Bissell Patrick. I don't know. I'm just chucking them out there now.
I only know a few of them. But yeah, get yourself on there. All are welcome. Be great as well to get some insight from some fans from other leagues. As I said right from the beginning of this channel, me and Rams are not experts in every team. We're not experts in every sport. We are fans. Some of our opinions are biased. Some of our opinion is BS. We are just fans like you guys. So if you feel like you can offer something to the show, be our resident expert, come on and enlighten us.
Let's have an argument. Let's have some bants.
But no Everton fans are allowed. I don't know if I've ever covered that yet on the show so far. It's inclusive community apart from if you support Everton.
All Spursy are always welcome. Spursy boys can come as much as they want. # easy to abuse.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to finish above you again. Oh, 2-0. Oh, should have scored. What a mistake by Diaz. We're bigging Diaz up and he just made a mistake. Wow. Ziyech left him one-on-one and he's put it to the keeper's feet. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the FA Cup final there and then for Chelsea if he scored. Wow, what a big mistake by Diaz and then what a big mistake by Ziyech. And Ziyech is playing amazing as well. That would have been his 3rd goal.
I don't think it helped though. It's just after Laporte went on an amazing run all the way up from centre back to nearly having a shot at the other end, and left him just one centre back. As you can see, there's no one else around him in that chance. So I think Laporte shouldn't have gone missing there. So he's playing hold midfield.
When we get more used to doing the watch along, guys, as well, we'll be including some man in a match. So we're just working with the team to work out a way of doing it. But we'll be bringing it out on like the 70th minute normally of every game. You'll then have 15 minutes or 20 minutes to register your man in a match, and then we will take the fans' man in the match, not mine and Rams. We will take the ones that you guys think are the man in the match. Obviously, for the next few games, me and Rams get the privilege of choosing. But it will give you something more to get involved in. And obviously we'd love to hear your feedback on all things to do with the match. And of course follow us on all the socials. Big up to everyone in the chat. So Class FM, Matt Cruikshank, Bill Up. Although you rejected me from the team, I still love you. I know once you see me play on the sideline there will be a space for me open up. Dave Cruikshank. Obviously another Chelsea fan, so we've got a family of Chelsea fans in the house. Big yourselves up. Dan Dublin and then Class FM. So big up yourselves for joining us tonight, guys. Obviously Luke Spencer as well, Kofu, Lots and lots of people. Really, really appreciate you joining us. Grant Wyatt, Janet Lewis, Nicholas Edwards. Really, really appreciate you joining us, especially as we're starting off and we're quite nervous. And really, really appreciate your support, guys. It means the world to us. And if you're Chelsea, you're loving life.
They were nearly through again then.
Crack a beer open, get yourself a takeaway. It's time for party time.
City have not shown up at all.
No, they just look like they've not got a lot left. They've gave everything so much to get here, and there's got to be one of these cups they're not bothered about. I'm interested to see what they're like next year. If you're a Tottenham fan watching this, you're rubbing your hands. They don't look like they're up for anything other than the Champions League. I think they've switched off everything. They just want the Champions League. So if you're a Spurs fan, wow, you could have your first trophy next week, which is quite cool.
Yeah. To be fair to Spurs, as much as I say you never win trophies, you've got Mourinho. That might give you the only factor that could ever help you, because you boys haven't got the minerals. We all know that. That's why you get to where you get to and don't perform. That's why Leicester win the league when you should win the league. You know, but Mourinho has that mentality to win. So even the great Mourinho might have enough in his locker to get one over Pep, because obviously a lot of rivalry between the two. So that could be the X factor for me.
Yeah, he knows how to win. There's going to be a VAR decision there to be had, but I think it's come and gone. Sterling taking one in the back by the looks of it from Rudiger. They're just showing that big Chelsea chance again. Mistake by Diaz, and Ziyech straight at the keeper. Which, big up Stefan. I say I don't really know this goalkeeper, and that's a good save. To be fair, he's out fast. Good save, to be fair. If anyone knows where Stefan come from, let us know in the chat. It's not often there's a goalkeeper it catches you by surprise in a big team, but that has actually caught me by surprise. You're probably going to tell me now he's been there for 10 years and going to show you my lack of knowledge.
That ball through there that Zeke just missed when he showed the replay, he showed it again. Unbelievable. What a ball.
Was it from Mount again, wasn't it?
Yeah, what a ball.
Oh, he's a
he
great
should have
player.
finished that. Game over. No two ways about it.
Absolutely a great player. So substitution. So Torres is coming off for Gundogan. So I'll make that change for you. Throwing everything they've got here now.
I think that might help them, give them a balance in midfield. Because not much has come from midfield, has it? There's not much been created for their midfield. The midfield sort of been...
This is the thing, isn't it? For all we all sort of say about, which is true about Pep being probably the greatest manager in the modern era and stuff like that. You also look at some of his teams, when it does go wrong, it seems to really go wrong. I.e., you're now bringing in Gundogan with whatever the time is, 20 minutes left. He's a midfielder. Yeah, he went through a purple patch. You look for the last 6 years of his games, he doesn't score goals. He sets them up. Who's he going to set them up for? So it's sometimes I can see that, you know, the more you look at this, the more Haaland's definitely coming.
Yeah,
because these are the sort of results.
I agree with you there, because normally bringing on that sort of midfielder in this time of the game, what's he going to change? And it normally takes you a little while to get into the game. Time he's had 10-15 minutes, the game's nearly over. But at the same time, nothing's come through the midfield at the moment. The odd chance they've had was, I can't even recall the odd chance they've had. So someone needs to get them going through midfield first for them to hopefully have a chance to half do something.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, so it's just, as I say, you normally do that and bring on a striker at the same time.
Yeah.
You bring on Gundogan.
But they haven't got that.
I've changed it. I think I've spelled his name wrong. I apologise to any Man City fans if I've not. He's got a bit of a weird name. So thank you very much, Dan Dublin. So Stefan is American and plays for the US national team. I'll tell you, these American players, they're coming thick and fast now, aren't they?
Yeah, but does that make a great deal of difference? I mean, no disrespect to the Americans and that, but they're not. I mean, Tell me a proven good American player other than the odd one here and there from Clint Dempsey. I remember that player. There was a goalie actually, Tim Howard.
Tim Howard. But now you got Pulisic.
Yeah, actually, there's a player. There's a player. Yeah.
Then you've got you've got a few now. Then you've got probably the best right back in the world, isn't he? As much as I hate to say it, he is better than.
Oh, is he the one at Munich? Is he American? Is he?
Yeah.
I know. As soon as you said him.
I forgot his name. Davis.
Yeah, Alfonso Davis.
Alfonso Davis, yeah, he's American. And then there's another guy I'm missing as well. So yeah, it's still few and far between, but it's becoming more regular now. Which obviously, looking at the size of their country, it's not surprising.
Makes sense that it should.
And I don't know the person, but I know a local person who's playing America over in football, college soccer. So big up yourself if you're watching. All the way from Essex all the way to America is a pretty big deal for football. So big up yourself. Great ball by Foden, near enough got Mendy in then. Good defending by James. Throw on. Fernandinho's still on, that's surprising. He's booked as well. Surprising. He's looking old as well. He's looking tired now.
Well, if you watch him on the pitch, he's just strolling around. I mean, he's not moving too far from his position. It's just the odd little walk, the odd little jog here and there. Surprised he's still on the pitch, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm surprised, especially with them losing. You don't need all these defensive.
Yeah. Especially when I think they've still got Rodri on, which they brought him as a holding midfielder to replace Fernandinho. So definitely only two of them on. I don't know if he's still on, but I've not seen him go off. De Bruyne went off, and they went off for Gundogan Jesus. So yeah, I don't see.
You mean Jesus?
Well, if we listen to Kofu, he's already told you, mate.
Jesus. Glass FM in the chat saying that Man City have been awful today, and that is pretty true. They have not been great. They haven't been awful because they're not conceding chance after chance after chance. They've just had nothing going forward. Where Chelsea have looked potentially dangerous every time, and Timo Werner, I know he's not scored the goals that he was set out to score, but as I say, I'm a Liverpool fan and I'd still want him here. If you were going to sell him, I'd still take him next year. Because next year I've got a feeling he's going to score a hell of a lot of goals. Because he's missed so many this year. So he really should have had more nears. Man City cross. Oh, front post Foden. Out for a corner. Or was that Torres? Now it's Foden again. The guy's electric. So cool to be watching an English player play in the best English team. And
yeah.
Quarterfinals last week of the Champions League. Goals. So cool. Left foot cross coming in. It's a bit too high. It's in. Oh, should have scored. Diaz should have made up for his mistake earlier on. That should be 1-1. For all they haven't played, that should have been 1-1. I said it was a lofty cross, which it was, but for that reason it made its way to the back post. Oh, that's fuming.
It was still at 1-0. When it's at 1-0, there's always that chance. And they're still not at any stage.
That was a bit unlucky by Diaz, and I think it was Laporte that won the first header, so it shows you how important big boys going to the boxes. Mount's coming off.
Scored that.
Who's
okay, he's going to try and show him up a bit more, probably. Put on a more holding player than Mount, because of the midfielders they've got, he's probably the more attacking than Jorginho and Kante, so I can see why.
Who's he brought on?
Well, I'm saying, of the midfielders they've got, Kante and Jorginho are both holding.
He's brought Pulisic on. He's brought
Pulisic on. Oh, wow.
You know what? Big up yourself for that managerial change, because if they go and score, that's a great managerial change. Like if Man City score because you got a chance in the extra time. There's so many managers that will just go defensive and then they score and you've got no strikers. So actually, that is well, I like that. That's not an English manager's decision, that is. So I'll big him up for that. That's a continental decision right there.
How many English managers are there, mate?
English managers bringing on like 3 defenders right now.
Not that as many of them, to be fair. But,
well, not many of them left because they bloody do things like that.
Yeah. But, yeah, that surprised me. I thought he would have looking to lock up shop, to be fair. And and park the bus. But I guess if you give him some instructions to do that, and they do concede, he's got someone to attack. So yeah, it's not a bad shout.
No, look at that front three: Ziyech, Pulisic, Werner. That's honestly, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but you guys have got a side. I don't often get to look at the formations for that length and really think about it, and that's a really good side. Your weak point is Azpilicueta, because he's about 900 years old now. But you replace Azpilicueta with a really good player, maybe even Jorginho. Although he's a good player, he's a bit slow. You've got a really good side. It's mental, isn't it, right? You look at the Rams, you look at them sides, yeah? And you look at who's the better team. If you didn't know what the league is, I don't think most people would choose that right team, would they?
Well, like I say, on paper, without some of their performances this year, stats-wise, mate, there's 5 to 6 players from each side that could make a great team. I don't think you could outweigh. You know, when you do the two teams and who gets more in one side, I don't think there's a great deal of unbalance. But like I say, Werner, if he was scoring like he was scoring last year, he'd walk into any team. Yeah, same with Havertz. Yeah. So it'd be great to see when we come out of this next year how much they've turned that corner and got to that next stage. Because we always say these players are good in different leagues, but until you actually do it in this league, it's hard to be able to say anything else.
Man City are purring right now. Foden's at the heart of everything they're doing again. They're into the box.
Feet are amazing.
Yeah, that shot away. Why aren't they shooting from there? But Foden, I was watching that as you was talking, and he's literally gone from one end of the field to the other. He did not lose the ball. He can bounce around people. It's like glue stuck to his shoe.
He started that at near on left back position, just outside his own box.
Yeah,
doing that Xavi style play where does a few circles, turns this way, turns that way, goes past the man, goes past the man, and then he's back at the top end of the pitch, nearly finishing it off. Like
for those of the viewers old enough to remember people like Gaza, let me tell you this now: he is 10 times better than Gaza. And I mean, he might even be 10, 20 times better. Gaza wasn't quick. He didn't have balance off the left foot. He could only dribble, but only if you dived in at his feet, which people don't do in this Premier League now. Because if you dive in, you get stunned. So you've actually got to balance past people. Jesus Christ, this guy, I don't know how old he is. I think he's about 19. Unbelievable player. I think he's the greatest English player I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen an English player we can say that's two-footed. Can you tell me one that's ever been two-footed? Completely two-footed.
I think Jack might have been.
Oh, no chance. He can run.
No, actually, I think he's left-footed. I think he's lefty.
Yeah, he's completely left-footed, yeah. But what I mean is, had everything. So run, agile.
Yeah, he's two-footed.
I think he's the greatest player. I'm not saying he'll be the greatest player. I can't remember a 19-year-old kid being anything like him.
With that much potential.
And still with potential in the bag to come out. But it's not even potential anymore. He's just scored in the quarter-final of Champions League. He's on 10, 15 goals and assists for the year. This is happening. He's now being brought on in semi-finals of FA Cups when they're needing a goal.
So it's not potential, but he's still got room to develop and become even better.
Yeah, he can get any better. He can get better.
He could be getting your 20 plus assists and 20 plus goals because he's got it in the locker.
He's absolutely amazing. I wish Liverpool had a player like him. Absolute mustard player. So 15 minutes left for Man City to mark a comeback. Otherwise, Chelsea are finding themselves in the semi-final of the Champions League and the final of the FA Cup. Not bad, and they're fighting in. I think they're in 5th position, a point behind West Ham, who lost today. Cross, Foden heads on. Lovely skill by Jesus. Dives, should be booked for that. Chelsea clear the line. Chilwell's my early shout for man of the match. He's been very, very good. So is Mount, to be fair, but Mount's come off now. Man City trying to make a run for it. Trying to make a last minute dash. Foden dancing past players again. 2-footed, draws the foul. Southgate, if you are watching, put him on the bloody pitch, you idiot. First name on the pitch, he's playing for Man City. Next name, Henderson, plays for Liverpool. Just go with what the flow is, mate. Don't try and be clever. Got to play this kid.
Every single thing that Man City are doing is going through Foden. No one else seems to do it much at all. It's all, when it sparks into life, it's him.
Yeah, he's just...
Oh, he's majestic.
Great cross. Same thing as last time, back post. Here we go, volley. Oh, he's misconnected a bit. That was Gundogan as well, I think. Oh no, that's Gundogan. Right, Werner, here we go. Werner on the counter-attack. Matt Cruikshank, this is for you, mate. I can feel this. This is going to be it. You're in the final. Is it? Oh, Werner. Oh, saved by Stefan, the new goalkeeper. Cruikshank, I thought that was it, mate. I thought that was it for you. Someone's not liking my Henderson shout. I suggest that might be a Man United fan. And you're right, Scholes couldn't tackle, but he was a great player. Well, he could tackle, he just couldn't get the ball. He hell as well got the player. Scholes was a good tackler if he wanted to break people. Deal well with another good tackle onto Sterling. Sterling, as Ram said at the beginning of the game, hasn't really been bubbling this season. And this is another game that's just bypassed him.
He's not done anything.
Bypassed him.
But it's bypassed most of their team, so you can't put him in that category alone.
Yeah, and a year ago I used to enjoy that because I was a bit a Liverpool fan that he'd left. But because we've gone on to do all right, get our own players, I want him to good for him. Do you know what I mean? So I feel a bit sorry for him really.
He's not even beating his man.
I think he's one of them players that's easy to slag off as well. So I think if I might come under big pressure.
I wouldn't mind if he's still getting them half chances, but he's not even getting. I've not even seen half a chance from him. He's not even beating his man this game.
Another good header by Chilwell, out for another corner. Squeaky bum times in the FA Cup semi-final. Man City on the attack. Corner to Man City. Can they deliver? Werner coming off. I think Havertz is on his way on, I think. Havertz for Werner on its way, I think. Yeah, Werner can be proud of himself, played quite well, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, and to be fair, he could have had 2 assists. If that one wasn't ruled out, that would have been 2 assists today, so...
Yeah, he could have been on a hat-trick.
He's not got the goals, but, yeah.
Change. So it's all up to date. There you go, Kai Havertz. Again, another Lampard signing. Another great lad by the looks of it. You don't do what he did in Germany and come here and be terrible, so it's just going to take him a bit of time.
Yeah, 1 sub or 2 subs he made.
That's a penalty.
He's brought Emerson on as well, mate, so you know.
Oh, who did he take off?
Up front, Zikic.
We've got Jesus and Zikic.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry about that one.
Who did he bring on?
He brought on Emerson, who normally is a fullback. Normally.
Yeah, I was going to say he's making it really annoying.
I don't know what formation he's playing now. I couldn't help you with that one.
I'm shoving it in.
New striker, yeah.
Let me show Bill up what I'm capable as my managerial formation change. Who knows when I come to Olympia what I'm capable of doing. There you go, Bill up. That's what happens when you need to hold on to a lead. That's what I would do. Shove Emerson in the holding midfield. He's got the legs. Honestly, Bill up, let us know. Email allfanstv@gmail.com and I'll come and play for your team. I'll manage it.
He's abusing your comments. He's abusing your shout for Henderson, to be fair, at the moment, mate.
Well, I'm going to ignore it, Bill, because I was up until that point, I thought you knew what he was saying about football. So you don't think Henderson, the guy who's been the Champions League winner, Premier League winner. The reason we've done both of those is because he drives us to those. We don't think he should get an England squad. Get over it. Who are you going to put in front of him? Let us know in the comments, Bill. Tell me your squad. I want the whole 11 now. Starting 11, I'm going to pull it apart. I bet you got Shaw at left back, haven't you? I bet you ain't got Trent at right back. Unbelievable.
But it's a Man United Liverpool fan battle here, isn't it, you boys? Jeez. I can't believe how dead Man City have been this game. It's been absolutely appalling.
Yeah, they've definitely been bad, and they've only got 9 minutes to pull this out the bag. Who's the other semi-finals? Let's have a quick look, because I forgot. Let's have a little look.
The way it's looking at the moment, none of our predictions across the comments or ourselves are going to get anywhere near 1-0. Did we have a 1-0 in the comments? I don't think we did.
I should have known having a Gooner on with me. It was going to be bloody 1-0, didn't I? I was on there earlier on. It's 3-2 masterclass. Get a Gooner on 1-0 to the Arsenal. So the other one is tomorrow, actually. It's Leicester versus Southampton. So, not being funny, this is bank on for victory now, isn't it? If you're, I've just seen that. If you're a Chelsea fan, start getting your parade bus ready.
Well, Leicester have been poor the last few weeks. They haven't done anything for me. Vardy's not shown up the last sort of couple of months.
And they're going to be trying to concentrate on top 4 as well. So Chelsea, you should be well happy with that.
There should be an easy win for Leicester over Southampton to get to the final, I would have thought.
Bill up, I quite like you. You got some bants, to be fair. So Foden learnt from Yaya, Henderson learnt from Ha Ha. Scouse bias, nothing unusual. That is true. I definitely am biased. And he's not the greatest player, but you put him in a good with good midfielders like Liverpool, England actually have with Grealish, Foden. You tell me one other player that can do what Henderson can. Foden can't, Grealish can't, Mount can't. Who else we got in the England squad? Right? Can't think of anything. That none of them have got the legs. Oh, what? Oh, should have scored right near the end. Chance falls to Sterling, he blasts it over. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying he's the greatest footballer, Henderson, but he's definitely the best leader England have got. He's
just on a non-biased opinion. A non-biased opinion, I rate Henderson's drive and push, and he's got a good passing range as well. So I see why you'd want someone with a bit of experience.
And he gets assists, and he gets goals, and he leads. All the England players have all come out and said that they can't wait for him to be fit and back in the England squad because he makes such a difference. Let's be honest, there's not many men in that squad, is there? And he's one of the only men.
Yeah,
plays like a man, looks like a man. The rest are all Fodens and Grealishes and Mounts and...
Yeah, great technique. But I mean, away from that, I mean, there's definitely no way in this world that anybody on the chat should think Winks is going to get into that team. I mean, Winks over Henderson or anyone. Who the hell? What are you... Mate, you're brazen, you Spursy fan. You're brazen, mate. But Winks, are you having a laugh?
Yeah.
You can't get into your team, let alone the England team, my man.
No, I don't think he's going to get in. But he is very good technically. He is a good technical player. But he's just not going to get in because, again, with the technical players, he's got to battle it with Mount, Grealish and Foden, and he's not on that level.
It's not the same league.
Which is why I come back to my point with Henderson. Who's Henderson battling with? No one like him.
Well, Spurs will tell you deal.
No, actually, no. There is someone like him now. No, there is someone like him. There is Rice, Declan Rice. So yeah, there is probably an argument. Yeah. And I think when I remember now with the Carragher Neville debate, that's what it was. It was Rice or Henderson. So 6 minutes left. Can they keep it going?
He lacks the attributes that we actually want, though. So he has got the attributes in holding and positioning, but he hasn't got the leadership and experience and age to drive these young boys through with Declan Rice. So you've got a battle there still, both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
Both sides.
Matt Crookshank says, sounds like Bill Up and John should need to have a race. So I assume Bill Up might have a bad knee like me. So with Bill Up's bants, I reckon we should have a race over a few beers instead of running, because I've got a feeling both of us can't run anymore. but I might challenge you to a beer race one day. But as I say, I'm gonna. On a serious note, I am going to be going to film some grassroots football, and putting it on the channel. So, if you play for a Sunday League team, and you can either send us in your goals, or we'll come and do a bit of videoing for you. Send us in your goals. If I was still playing, I'd love to have had a couple of my worldies on there. I do share one of my worldies that I've scored now and again on Facebook. I won't lie. So if you can find me, you'll see that bullet header.
A worldie for a header.
Mate, was a worldie header.
What are you talking about?
Meet
was
people, boom. I was like Willock earlier on for Newcastle, boom, in it went. Silver's proper milking this now, showing his experience, isn't he? Absolutely showing his experience here.
Smart lad.
Then you got some of the younger Chelsea players coming up thinking he's genuinely injured. He's looking at them like, what? Don't get what I'm doing, like. Experience this is. Chelsea fans will be loving this.
Well, yeah, we've got Bill up in the chat saying Rice for Lingard, solid business. No, it's not an awful shout.
I've seen that rumbling, and I think that's got some legs, to be honest, as well. Obviously with some money as well. But that just sums up West Ham, so why not try and buy Lingard and keep him with Rice?
Well, ideally, yeah.
But I guess that's not.
Have they got the money to do that? Have they got the?
Well, I just think it's not the model. I just don't think it's the model. Sullivan and the other guy and the lady, they look like their model is based on a business rather than a successful football team. Or is it Sullivan and Brady? Isn't it?
Brady. They're looking to make money and run, mate. Sold the ground off, take all their money, leave them homeless and run away, mate. That's what will happen, guaranteed.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. So last couple of minutes, can't say that I'm holding much hope of Man City scoring, which, can you believe, Rams, we've watched a full 90 minutes of Man City, which I don't often do. I watch highlights, etc. And the big charade that's been surrounding them has just burst, that big bubble, because they've been very disappointing, to say the least. Mendy, I don't like at left back. Don't like Laporte. I think Fernandinho's lost his legs. Very interesting to think this is the best English side, and they just gave Dortmund a good slapping in Europe on Wednesday. But Havertz losing the ball, looking a bit.
Is his heart all in? Is his heart all in the Champions League now?
I think
he's all focused on that.
I think
that's what he needs. What he wants.
I think he's told them, look, I want to win it all, but if you don't win the Champions League, then I'm not going to be happy. And he might have to leave, let's be honest. Can he do it again? Next year's going to be harder. Liverpool will be better. Man United will be better. Most teams will be better.
And that's what he was brought in for. He was brought in to win Man City the Champions League. And so far, he's failed to get anywhere near it.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of their dump outs have been quite embarrassing, really.
Yeah. I mean, they've not made a final. Did they make a semi? I don't think so. I think it's quarterfinals every time. Until now. Until this year, I'm sure it's quarterfinals every year. Could be wrong. They might have made one semi, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's very true, Bill. Maybe Rice would be better off leaving to go to a top side, and I don't mean that if you're a West Ham fan. Oh, look at Foden's feet again, draws the foul. This guy is unbelievable. He's only been on for about 15-20 minutes. If he'd have played the whole game, he probably would have, Man City, I'm sure, would have been a lot better, because he just, look at that.
It's majestic to watch him drop that shoulder, roll him and just take that foul.
Yeah, he's as I say, I've been quite glued to him now for about a year, because I've been watching when Liverpool and Man City were going at it. I kept on thinking, why are they not playing Foden? Where this year, well, they're playing him. Man City into the box, last throw of the dice, we're dead on 90. Cleared by Chelsea, who have defended very, very well today. I think if you're a Chelsea fan, you're quite happy with this. You played really well. You've kept the champions at bay. They've hardly had chances. Another good clearance.
This has been an absolute solid performance from Chelsea. They have not looked like they've given them really one clean chance for me. I couldn't tell you one time I thought, you know what, Chelsea looked threatened there. This has been a solid performance, and mate, Tunchel should be well proud of himself, and Frank.
Yeah, don't forget Lamps. Big up yourself, Lampard. The only thing is with Lampard as well, same as Ollie, they're not going to probably get recruited by someone else. That's why I'm glad Gerrard didn't come to Liverpool first, went somewhere else, so he gets a bit of credit. So at least if it doesn't work when he comes to us, which he will eventually, at least that's it. Is that all over? Oh, no, 4 minutes left. They're all going down in cramp. So this is where you see experience. Silva was on the floor a minute ago. Now you've got Asquilibretta diving round.
When a good generation of midfielders you've mentioned a few times, you think that we've not had a lot of footballers convert to management, but yet that generation we've got Gerrard, Parker, Arteta, Lamps. We've had quite a few there from that same sort of era, converting over now to become half decent managers.
Yeah, and I was going to say all of them are doing fairly okay as well. I know Arteta's had the league's just disappeared for you guys this year. I don't know what happened, but FA Cup last year, he could theoretically, let's be honest, you've only got to beat Villarreal and hope that Roma beat Man United, and you've got Roma in the final. I'd fancy your chances against them. I do think Man United will beat you, that's the problem. Chelsea through. Can they get a shot away? Is this going to be a goal? It is a goal. 2-0, all over. What a goal that is. Pulisic. There was me picking up the American. Oh, it's offside. It's offside. Hold your horses. The flag is up. He's actually put the flag up. Is it offside? Oh, it is offside. Calm down, Chelsea. You're still going to go through to the final, but it's not going to be 2-0. Sorry, Dave. I think I see your yes in the comments. Tuchel was just as buzzing as you was by the looks of it. But it is offside. So, 3 minutes to go.
Dave Cruikshank's not too happy with that either, to be fair. And Matty, all screaming. He's offside, though.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately. He's offside. Let's hope this doesn't come back to counter. Man City on the attack. Throw on, 2 minutes to go. Rudiger's played really well as well. But I think my man in the match, going to give it to Chilwell. What about yours, Rams?
For me, it'd have to probably be a fullback. I mean, defensively, they've all been solid. Thiago Silva's been solid. Rudiger's been solid. It's hard to give it to an attacking player because they've not been sort of, all over them, peppering them with shots. But for me, it'd definitely be a fullback. And I'm a massive fan of Chilwell, so I think he's a pipit for me as well. So
yeah, he's.
I think it's probably the first time that me and you probably agree with this one because it's unusual.
Probably the last, mate.
Probably not wrong there.
Oh, good save by Kepa. Last chance header from a corner. Heads it down like you should. All good headers should head it down. A good save by Kepa, and his hair still looks like he's only just combed it, which is so random.
He's got some holding spray in there, mate. That's not moving. I was
going to say he wants to tell everyone his secret. Free kick one for Chelsea. I think that now, with a minute left, as long as nothing goes silly now, this is Chelsea into the final. And yeah, I think Dubs is right. It was just offside. And yeah, Bill's right. Whoever thought there was going to be goals in this was mad. I definitely thought it was going to be a 0-0, 1-0 maybe. I can't remember exactly what I said, Bill, but something like that.
You added a prediction shows, boys.
Honestly, I'm glad you're here for me, Bill. You reminded me. You and me we bonded in this little session, mate. Never mind when I become like your assistant manager or whatever I'm going to be. I'm not hooked up on titles. Can be like director of football.
You'll be the water boy.
I'm not overly hooked up on titles. Chairman, executive chairman.
This has been a dead performance from Man City.
Considering it's something, it's a semi-final. We all want to be there, don't we? Let's be honest. You'd love Arsenal to be there. I'd love Liverpool to be there. But Chelsea are doing it. Well, to be fair, Chelsea are representing London pretty well, aren't they?
Mate, how many times does this always happen in the big game? You have the big semi-finals, two big teams in it, no fireworks. It's a dead game, 1-0. It happens so often these days.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's disappointing. And again, that's because the way football's developed now is it's so ticky-tacky. Like, you telling me he couldn't have shouted out 20 minutes ago, start lumping it up there. Boom, move Fernandinho up. Boom, move Big Diaz. He's got a defender that's like 6'2". Shove him up front for a minute. See if he can cause some drama.
Yeah, mate, that's the old school way, isn't it? Whack the big centre forward up front, a centre back up front.
Mate, look at Phil Brown going back to Southend United to try and save them from relegation. His first game, he gets their big centre back and shoves him up front. Whole game. Not for 20 minutes, 90 minutes.
How'd they get on?
Drew 0-0.
Oh.
And they drew 0-0 again yesterday. So 2 games he's been there, they haven't conceded a goal. That's it, all over. Chelsea are through to the FA Cup final. Big up yourself, Chelsea. Well deserved. It wasn't even close. You've got to be proud of that. You've literally just stopped in their tracks. The quadruple. Man United fans are absolutely buzzing. They're dancing around in Salford as we speak, telling everyone about, do you know we won the treble? So yeah, big up yourself. I would have liked that to have ended, but out of both teams to go through to the final, I probably would prefer Chelsea. Man City are going to win enough this year. And
Chelsea, boys, you never know. You might go one step further this year and actually win it. Instead of let Arsenal pick it off you last year, you might do it this year. You've only got Leicester now. Surely you can't throw it away. Surely.
Yeah, well, hopefully they learned their last year lesson last year, playing a lesser side and losing. So hopefully this year they'll play a lesser side and win. Big up yourself, Chelsea, honestly. I think you should be really proud of yourself. You've got good young English players. I'm looking at Mount. He even looks like a school kid. He looks like he could be wearing, like, do you know what I mean? He's only a young lad. You've got Kepa back in, which no one likes to see a goalkeeper being shunned. And Man City, Pep needs to learn his lesson. Fernandinho's not got it anymore. They took too many risks today. And when they're all on form and they're buzzing, they can get away without a striker. When it doesn't go well, it just defies logic not to have someone up there.
In some games, you just got to play your best team. You're in the semi-finals. As much as you want to save it for Europe, sometimes you put your best team out there, and then you've got no excuses. He's got all the excuses under the sun, isn't it? Probably using that. Oh, we did this, we did. You weren't good enough on the day, and Chelsea deserved it. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. They did deserve it. So let's give up a big up to everyone who joined us in the chat today. I hope I don't miss anyone, but Nicholas Edwards, Class FM, Luke Spencer, Dan Dublin, Janet Lewis, Grant Wyatt, obviously my big man Bill. Big up yourself. You're more than welcome on whenever you want. We'll have to test your knowledge one day and get you on here and see what it's about. But big up yourself for joining us. Obviously Kofu. I'm sure there's some more that I'm probably going to miss. So if I do, I apologise. Matt Cruikshank, Dave Cruikshank. Really appreciate all of you guys joining us this afternoon. Dan Dublin, I'm sure I've missed some, but hopefully that's all of you guys. If you get a chance to check out our sponsors in the link in the description, please do. Deadman Gray, Work and Wear Direct, and New Line Essex. All their links are in description. Check them out. And then obviously, hopefully you can join us this evening. We've got a couple of hours break now, and then we'll be back on before you know it for a bit of boxing, a bit of UFC, a bit of Justin Bieber. Snoop Dogg's in the gaff, I've noticed, so he's singing as well. So some good entertainment. I'm secretly quite looking forward to this boxing event. There will be UFC on as well. You'll hear Rams rambling on about how good Whittaker is, and you know, I mean, they're best buddies, and he's the best thing since sliced bread. You know, he's a Whittaker fan, and I really hope you can join us for that. Rams, it's been pucker having you on, mate. Obviously, it would have been nice to see a 6-all draw or something and penalties, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, it would have been great to have had a better game. It would have been great for Man City to have shown up and given us a performance, but unfortunately not the case. I should have been on earlier and watched the Newcastle game because clearly there were more goals in that one. But hey-ho, but tonight will be absolutely awesome. Now, calm yourself down, my friend. I like Whittaker. I'm not a bum boy. Jesus Christ, mate, calm it down. But yeah, he's my pal, and I think he's not giving the credit he deserves. Bear in mind, he's only lost to Izzy. He's not giving the credit he deserves in my eyes. But I'll enjoy watching him win tonight. So please, come on, get involved. Like, subscribe, get on the show. Tell us what you've got to say. Let's hear your opinions. We've got loads of you in the chat there that are giving it a big one. Bill up, the Crookshanks, all you boys, you're all welcome on. We love a bit of bants and would love to have you on here with us. So get on the email address that John's given you already and get involved. And hopefully we'll see you on the show very, very soon. But please make sure you join us tonight.
Couldn't have put it better myself. It's been an absolute pleasure. First 2 watch-alongs in the bag. All Fans TV is on the map. Please help us grow. Any feedback you can give us, we'll take it on the chin like men. Anything you want to get involved and help us with, anything you'd like to see on the show that we've not yet done, please drop us an email, drop us a Twitter, drop us a line on Facebook, whatever it might be, and we'll make sure that we do our best to make All Fans TV the channel, not only that we want it to be, but you want it to be. On that note, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much for joining All Fans TV, and obviously good luck to Chelsea in the final. I'm John, and I'm gone.